game day coverage starts at 2:10 on the home of the Brewers, 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 12:01. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News. It's Wednesday, July 29th. Your top story, a setback for unions over collective bargaining.
I'm Jessica Ty. Look who's refusing to answer questions about COVID-19.
Very nice day today. Mostly sunny, less humid, high of 80 degrees. Mostly clear tonight and a low of 64. It's 77 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:01. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Wisconsin's Act 10 law will remain in effect after a new ruling from the State Court of Appeals.
The court overturned a Dane County judge's decision that struck down the 2011 law, which limits collective bargaining rights for most public employees and requires many to contribute more toward their health insurance and retirement benefit. The law, championed by former Governor Scott Walker, sparked weeks of protests at the state capitol when it was passed. The lawsuit argues the law unfairly exempts firefighters and some other public safety workers. Unions are expected to appeal the decision to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. Sparks fly during the Democratic debate for Wisconsin governor. During the event hosted by Channel 12 last night, former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes said the race is unfair. Barnes took aim at the Democratic establishment in his closing statement.
To everybody watching at home, I want you to know that the establishment is trying to rig this election. They want you to choose between their preferred candidate, and also Republican billionaires are lining up to the tune of $3.5 million to choose a Democratic nominee in this race. I'm here to say that's BS.
The partisan primary election features 5 candidates vying for the Democratic nomination. They'll face Republican frontrunner Congressman Tom Tiffany in the November election.
Nearly 500 Milwaukee students are preparing to begin the school year in a new building after Lincoln Avenue School on Milwaukee's southwest side burned to the ground last month.
Fortunately, no one was injured when the 5-alarm fire destroyed Lincoln Avenue in June. There were no sprinklers in the building. MPS Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius would like to retrofit buildings with sprinklers, but that can be cost prohibitive.
It would be anywhere from $1 million to $2 million per school to outfit. We have 139 schools, so you can imagine how much money it would cost to outfit the schools with sprinklers. So there's no plans to do that now.
The average MPS building is 85 years old. John Merkier, WTMJ News.
Dr. Anthony Fauci invoked his Fifth Amendment right, refusing to answer questions during a Senate hearing on the origins of COVID-19. During his opening statements, Fauci blasted Senator Rand Paul for his repeated attempts to convict Fauci for his part in the pandemic.
Any reasonable person who has followed his unhinged obsession with me would readily come to the same conclusion.
Before the hearing, Paul released more than 1,000 pages of Fauci's private diary entries.
A new court filing in the James Comey case shows the lengths to which investigators have tried to prove that a picture of shells forming the numbers 8647 constitute a true threat against President Trump's life. ABC's Stephen Portnoy explains.
James Comey's attorneys point to internal documents showing how the FBI has fruitlessly dug into court transcripts, old news articles, and AI chatbots to try to find examples of people using the phrase 86 to signify an intent to kill. Comey's lawyers say the FBI even interviewed convicted mobster Sammy the Bull Gravano to see if he ever used the phrase. The court papers say Gravano, whom Comey prosecuted, claimed a gangster would never use that term because law enforcement would know what it meant.
Comey denies the picture he posted was intended to be a threat, and his attorneys are aiming to get the charges against him tossed out. Time for news about your money in the WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. A rough day here for the Dow. Down nearly 750 points, just over the 52,000 mark. NASDAQ is down about 200 points at 24,670, and the S&P lagging about 50 points at 7381. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. Financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
We are back. Happy training camp, everybody. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:05.
Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Screaming Sicilian, more is amore. Amore, pepperoni, amore, mozzarella, amore. Screaming Sicilian, screaming Sicilian.
Screaming Sicilian frozen pizza. More toppings, more flavor. More is amore.
It's a winning explosion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, Winplosion rockets in.
bursting with $300,000 in cash and reward play. For your shot at winning, just play with your rewards card. Then join us for the Thursday night prize drawings. Plus, every Winplosion entry also counts toward the big WinFest Grand Finale in September. It's Winplosion. Big bang, big bucks. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Your key to the very front office of the Milwaukee Brewers President of Baseball Operations and General Manager Matt Arnold is our Brewers 360 guest every Thursday at 8:45 on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We're just coming off of a really good season that we're all proud of, and we would just want to keep building on that momentum.
Brewers 360 is sponsored by Outdoor Living Unlimited, Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Cannon and Dumphy, and Ridgetop Exteriors.
For more than a century, Curative Care has been helping children, adults, and families across southeast Wisconsin navigate developmental disabilities and find the support they need to thrive. Curative helps families every step of the way, from early childhood through adulthood, connecting parents with resources, providing guidance during challenging times, and creating a community where people truly belong. If you know someone who may be looking for answers and support for a loved one with developmental disabilities, visit curative.org today.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Brewers go for a series win this afternoon against the Giants in San Francisco. Coverage begins at 2:10 on WTMJ. Thomas Pannone is being called up to make the start. Shane Droyan was supposed to start. He has been scratched. Road trip wraps up with 3 games against the Angels before the August 3rd trade deadline. Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey expects the roster to be fortified.
I mean, history says they'll do something. I don't know whether it's big fish or several smaller fishes, but Matt Arnold has always done something to help this club when they are, in contention like they are.
Packers running back Josh Jacobs enters training camp with an open and unresolved domestic abuse investigation that the Brown County District Attorney's Office continues to lead. Packers GM Brian Gutekunst is letting the legal process play out while Jacobs takes the field.
Yeah, really nothing's changed. I mean, those things are obviously legal matters that are out of our hands, and so, but he'll be out there, and we look forward to him being out there. He's obviously such a big, important part of our football team. And he's healthy, and I think he looks really good.
Camp just about to wrap up here at Rainitsky Field. It continues on Thursday with a 10:30 practice open to the public.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We're looking pretty good on this Wednesday afternoon, middle of the work week. No crashes to report. We love that. A couple disabled vehicles out of the system, including this one, 4394 North, just a little bit beyond the ramp from Holt Avenue. Right shoulder is blocked in that case. Also, I-94 West out in the Brookfield area, real close to Moreland Road. Right shoulder blocked there due to a disabled vehicle, a broken down car, but it looks like traffic is moving really well past that one. There's a lot of movement, not a lot of cars right there. The only spots where we are seeing a lot of cars right now in our construction zones, 94 eastbound and westbound around American Family Field, a little bit of slowing there today. Also 4145 in the Butler area, that's southbound, and also northbound on 4145 in the Mayfair area. Delays indeed.
Traffic is sponsored by TaybackAttorneys.com. Veterans benefits denied? Call Tayback for the payback. Tayback Law fights for those who fought for us. If you're a vet and have been wrongfully denied the VA benefits you're entitled to, call Tayback for the payback. TaybackAttorneys.com.
Mostly sunny, less humid today. A+, high of 80 degrees. Mostly clear tonight, a low of 64. Just a little bit of cloud coverage on Thursday. We start to warm up a bit. Humid with a high of 86. Scattered showers possible on Friday with a high of 80. Showers early on Saturday, then mostly cloudy and a high of 75. 77 degrees and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:10.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
A truncated version of Wisconsin's Midday News. There's your word for the day, truncated, which means we are a little shorter due to Brewers baseball.
We are taking a bigger piece out of the pie today than we did. What was that last week when it was just a little sliver out of Midday?
Right. But just a touch. But now we've got about a 2-hour show today. Brewers baseball this afternoon, looking for a series win against the Giants.
It's now at noon on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Stay away. Do not self-deploy. That's the word this afternoon from the Menasha Police Department about 48 hours after a terrible tornado tore through the Fox Valley. So many people want to help, but the police department wants to make sure those people don't get in the way. Official volunteers are being run through Volunteer Fox Cities. When it's organized, volunteers get sent where they're needed. They get the proper information, and they don't interfere with emergency recovery operations. Menasha Mayor Austin Hammond, right here on Wisconsin's Midday News.
So I would encourage people to go to the Volunteer Fox Cities website or social media channels, and they're doing a tremendous amount of work to help us to coordinate that aspect of it so we can keep doing the important work that we need to do, serving our community and getting roads clear and utility lines back up.
Menasha Police Department says only residents, emergency crews, utility workers, and official volunteers should be in the area.
Well, now at noon, the Packers are wrapping up day one of training camp on a picture-perfect day at Ray Nitschke Field. Today's practice, the first of 12 scheduled to be open to the public. Some notable names not on the practice field, including linebacker Micah Parsons. He begins camp on the physically unable to perform list, as does tight end Tucker Kraft. Both are rehabbing a torn ACL. Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst says Kraft is coming along nicely.
So I would encourage people to go to the Volunteer Fox Cities website.
Let's hear this.
We've had a lot of discussions about that and the timing of that. And, obviously we want to be protective. He's coming off a major injury and he's still about that 8.5 month mark. But by the way he looks, you think he's ready to go. But there's a lot of science behind the 9-month mark. And so we'll be very cautious as we head into it.
The Packers begin the preseason 2 weeks from tomorrow against the Steelers in Pittsburgh. More on the Packers with Jason Wilde coming up in just a couple of minutes.
It's decision day at the Federal Reserve. The Fed is considering what to do with interest rates in the midst of the uncertainty stemming from the war in Iran. Stocks have been in a downward spiral today in response to continued fighting and statements from the president about more intense retaliation. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Oil prices today are up about 8% as of right now. That is a significant move higher that is going to, as we have seen over the past few months, trickle into higher prices in other parts of the economy. And as this uncertainty over exactly where oil prices land, but the fact is they are still higher now than they were at the start of the war. That has put pressure on inflation. And the Fed is in a position where it's looking at this and saying, do we need to raise interest rates to try to bring some of those prices down over the long term?
That interest rate decision comes down in less than an hour now at 1 p.m.
Oh, the horn is sounded. Practice is over. Jason Wilde was on the sidelines as the Packers begin training camp. We'll check in with Jason after this on WTMJ.
It's WTMJ's Debbie Loziga for Comfort Awnings. My motorized retractable awning is already saving me from that hot summer sun. I love that I can enjoy my patio year-round thanks to Comfort Awnings. I just retract it when I want the sun and extend it when I need the shade. Comfort Awnings even come equipped with sensors that detect rain and strong winds. This year, reclaim your outdoor space for your friends and family to enjoy every season Wisconsin has to offer. Right now, get $250 off any awning or screen. Call 414-AWNINGS or visit comfortawnings.com to learn more.
Hey, thanks, Deb. For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in the state of Wisconsin. Greg Matzik here. If you got a busted garage door or opener, no worries. Give my friends at Geis a call today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they've got doors for every budget. Openers, too. They'll even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. That is full service, and that's the difference with Geis. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, visit GeisDoors.com. Visit the showroom in Brookfield, right off Barker Road. See the inventory, see that custom design room, and meet some of the unbelievable, outstanding people that work for Geis. Don't think twice. Call Geis and visit GeisDoors.com.
It's the most wonderful time of year at Staples. They've got back-to-school supplies as low as 25 cents, up to 40% off select tech, and more at staples.com/back-to-school. Staples, that was easy.
Find furniture for life from Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield, Greenfield, or downtown Milwaukee.
Vince Vitrano here with your HVAC guy, Urban Heating and Cooling. How much longer does that furnace have? Question to ask my man Ryan. His family-owned business with his wife Ellie, based in Franklin. They serve all of southeast Wisconsin. Now, what Ryan most wants to do is help you get as much life out of that furnace that you've already got. But when you have him in for a tune-up, now he can give you an honest assessment on how much longer that older unit will hold out. Free estimate is always part of the deal, so you know it will fit your budget. Tell him Vinny sent you when you call urbanheatingandcooling.com.
Buying a new roof might not be the most exciting thing you'll do this year, but for us at Big Fish Contracting, being chosen to do that roof for you not only provides income for multiple families in southeastern Wisconsin, but has a global reach and impact around the world. To us, it's more than just a roof. We've been earning trust for over 2 decades. Roofing, siding, windows, and more. Go to bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Wisconsin State Fair turns 175 this summer, and we only get better with age. Join us for 11 days of fun, iconic traditions, grand champion moments, and food that's absolutely worth the hype. Celebrate 175 years together and get your tickets today at wistatefair.com. Wisconsin State Fair, presented by T-Mobile, August 6th through 16th. We'll see you there.
Oh, hard to drop a better day than today. Mostly sunny, a little less humid, high of 80 degrees. It looks like a perfect day for the start of Packers training camp and all the fans who are out there hanging out on a gorgeous day at Ray-Nitschke Field. Clear tonight at a low of 64. A little more humid on Thursday. Temperatures are ramping up a bit to 86. Scattered showers are likely on Friday, then cloudy with a high of 80. Some early rain is possible on Saturday, then mostly cloudy and a high of 75. It's 78 degrees in Milwaukee at 12:17.
I think it's a reasonable expectation that we got to show that daily improvement, the urgency that how we approach everything we do. And so, but I think the guys are excited, and I know I'm excited to get back out there and ready to roll.
Yeah, a lot of coach speak today from the head coach before training camp practice number one. A lot of GM speak from Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst. But if you are one of those people who makes training camp part of your summer and you took today as your day where you were going to go visit training camp, I don't know if you could have picked a better day for training camp. Humidity down, temperatures comfortable, all the kids out there, players riding bikes, some of these rookies for the first time seeing what Packers training camp is really all about. That's a great way to kind of launch into this back half of the summer.
Beautiful weather, and what a blast of an atmosphere every single year.
ESPN Wisconsin's Jason Wilde, host of Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin, has incredible work online at channel3000.com, previewing Packers training camp. He was on the sidelines today. Hey, Jason.
Good to be back for another year with you guys. How we doing?
Yes, doing great. So I'm always curious from your perspective, Jason, what it is you watch for here in these early days. There are no pads. There's not a lot of crack-a-lackin', right? I know there's some new players and new places, and sometimes you look at how the lineups are, put out onto the field and who's on the offensive line and so on. What do you pay most attention to before the pads even go on?
Yeah, I think that's the number one thing is who's where, who's not out there. Obviously, the headline for today, even though we knew it was coming for both of them, is that two guys that are really important to what this team wants to accomplish are not practicing. Now, I watched Tucker Kraft go through some rehab work, running routes, and he looked like Tucker Kraft, except he was wearing one of those jersey T-shirts, like not a jersey, but like his number printed on a T-shirt. Never been a big fan of those personally. Either you go jersey or you go T-shirt, right? But he looked like himself. Micah Parsons was just a spectator. He's told us that they have him on a strict 9 months no football timeline, which means 0 football until September 29th, which will be the 9-month mark after his surgery on December 29th. But, Keyshawn Nixon not practicing, supposedly because of a hamstring, but we know he's in the last year of his contract. So the things that jump out first and foremost are obviously in a practice like this, who's doing stuff, who's not. They got a number of guys that are on the physically unable to perform list, but I would push back on you to just say it's better, and you well know this from having been at plenty of practices throughout your career. The practices in pads, the weather was great today, but the quality of football and the things that you can glean from it is obviously inferior to those practices in pads.
Well, let me ask you this, Jason. You say the Green Bay Packers begin training camp with an interesting starting point, finishing. Can you explain what you mean by that?
I can, and it's kind of a weird deal because I really do think that it's about players, not plays. It's about, as Joe Philbin used to say, the former Packers offensive coordinator and interim head coach, Jimmys and Joes, not X's and O's. But nevertheless, the Packers' focus is on finishing games better than they did. We all remember the Chicago games that they lost, both in the regular season and the playoffs in Chicago. There's some other games during the season where they just didn't finish, and that is the overarching theme that they had throughout the offseason program and now into training camp. They want to finish. They're going to finish every play. They're going to finish every drill. They're going to, no matter how tired you are, you're going to finish. And what I would say was, I don't know, I thought for most of the season when you had Tucker Kraft catching a fourth down pass to lock up a win in Arizona, and then Micah Parsons getting a sack in Arizona late in the game, I thought they finished pretty well there. I thought they finished pretty well when Micah Parsons had a sack late in a game on Thanksgiving, and then Jordan Love had a fourth down completion to Dontavion Wicks to lock up that win. So, they don't have Kraft, they don't have Parsons last year during the second half of the season, and their finishing was less. But your stars are the guys that usually put the game away for you. Certainly your quarterback is part of that. But that is the theme, and that is what they keep talking about. And we'll see if talking about it leads to better success.
I feel like we speak with you, Jason, a disproportionate amount on kickers, but here we are again with a kicking story that has developed. I want to go back to early June. I'm at the Vince Lombardi Cancer Foundation Golf Classic. I'm talking with Ryan Longwell while I'm observing the crab claws and the shrimp platter. That was absolutely delicious. And as I was making my plate, Longwell turned away, and Trace Mack was right behind him, the Packers rookie kicker. And I eavesdropped a little bit to hear what they were talking about. They had not met in person before. But one thing that Trace Mack mentioned was, man, the wind is crazy at that practice field. So they were talking about some of the challenges in kicking in Green Bay. He hadn't even kicked a ball inside Lambeau Field. Well, since that time, the Packers released a guy, Brandon McManus, a veteran, who has kicked in Lambeau Field, albeit not very well toward the end of the season. And then Lucas Haversick, a guy who kicked a franchise record 61-yard field goal in a game. So they have reduced the pressure on a rookie kicker who they know is going to be their kicker. Do they just not want the headlines with a guy who has kicked the franchise record-long field goal in camps, and now they got this German import who is quote-unquote competition?
Yeah, I don't know. I honestly don't. And I asked Brian Gutekunst about it today, and frankly, I didn't feel like I had any greater clarity after getting his answer. I don't understand it either. It feels to me, and they can spin it however they want, but that they're clearing the runway for their guy to be the guy. And, they already preemptively talked about the growing pains that rookie kickers go through and that they're expecting them from Trace Mack. You mentioned Ryan Longwell. I got to get back on the invite list for the Lombardi golf tournament again so I can get back out there for one. But he's spent time with Trey. I know he talked to them not only at that, but has talked to him a lot otherwise, trying to kind of help him. And, Ryan was on our show a couple months ago talking about that as well. It's a different place to try and kick. It's hard. And it's not so much the cold, but the wind. And kicking a ball that cuts through the wind is going to be crucial for him. But I don't know. My point to Matt LaFleur when we were talking about this during the offseason after they cut McManus and now they cut Haversick yesterday is, don't you want him to have to compete, right? Everybody else has to compete, right? I mean, yeah, Jordan Love's not competing with Tyrod Taylor for the starting job. But you talk so much about competition, but at the kicker, there's no real competition. I mean, now you got two guys that have never kicked in an NFL regular season game. And one of them is a player that was on a practice squad last year purely because he was an international player. So I'm not sure I understand when you feel like you've got a Super Bowl caliber team why you would go that direction, but that's what they've chosen to do.
Oh, geez. Well, that makes me nervous again, but here we are.
Glad
again.
I can help.
Okay. Before we let you go, I've got to ask about one of the best parts of training camp, that favorite tradition of so many people. You got the big boys on the tiny bikes as fans and kids bring out their bikes, and they're just hoping that their favorite player will pick their bike to ride in. Which current Packers players seem to enjoy interacting with that the most and really just appreciate that Wisconsin tradition and get a big kick out of it?
Yeah, I know they were getting started while we were still talking to Matt LaFleur, so I didn't get to watch it the first day like I normally like to. But Tucker Kraft was right there in the mix. Even though he's not playing football, he's riding a bike. A lot of guys. I will say this too. What I love about Jordan Love, and I like a lot of aspects of the guy he is as a person, but he has not reached that point like his predecessors where they don't ride bikes anymore. Now, those guys reached a star level that also made it challenging logistically. I don't want to paint Favre or Rodgers as bad guys because they stopped riding bikes, but Jordan's still out there, and to your point, Jessica, I think what's great about it is that a lot of times those guys really form bonds with the kid that is their bike kid. I know Corey Lindsley, their longtime center, his bike kid had his bike stolen halfway through camp one year, and Corey bought him a new bike. I mean, that, and they stay in contact today, and Corey's, got 4 kids, and he's living out in California. He's coaching in Europe, but he stays in touch with his bike kid, who now is in college. And I just think that it's just such a special thing that I just love that, and it's great that those guys make that connection, because it really does turn out to be, in a lot of cases, some guys just pick a different person every day to kind of spread the love, which is great too. But I think forming that connection is a really neat thing.
Very awesome. Very cool to see rookie reaction to this whole thing and what it's like in Green Bay, and veterans, Jason, who have played in other places but are new to Green Bay. Zaire Franklin comes to mind. I caught a little clip of him on social media saying, never really seen anything like this. Like, it's just different in Green Bay. So to see that reaction from people who are new to this franchise is really cool to see.
Yeah, it's a unique thing. I know we probably use the word unique too often. It means one of a kind, and that is exactly what it is here. And again, I don't have the fan gene anymore, and Maddie and Sid have never done the bike thing. They don't have an interest in it. Now they're too old to be doing it. But to see, my absolute favorite bike picture, though, is when it's the big offensive or defensive lineman picking the little girl with the tricycle. And he's not riding a bike, he's carrying it instead. And sometimes he's carrying the bike in one hand and the little girl in the other. That's what it's all about.
Yeah, great stories. If you want to read incredible stories about this Packers team, some of the cool stories that develop personal stories, no one does it better than Jason Wilde. Check out his work at channel3000.com online. And, of course, Wilde and Tausch, 9 to noon on ESPN Wisconsin. Great to have you back, Wilde.
Yes,
looking forward to continuing the conversation throughout camp.
All right, we'll see. I look forward to it as well, everybody. Take care. Be good.
You do the same. It's Jason Wilde joining us weekly here on Wisconsin's Midday News throughout the season.
Summer is the time to enjoy the outside. Enjoy the deck, the patio, the fire pit, the shade, the screen room, the in-ground pool. Enjoy all of it in your own backyard. Outdoor Living Unlimited is Wisconsin's top TimberTech decking installer and can deliver a design and build your next maintenance-free deck with a custom screen room and automated pergola. Stop by our Outdoor Living Unlimited showroom at 665 Larry Court in Waukesha or visit OutdoorLivingUnlimited.com.
Well, the story of Horicon Bank is an incredible story, truly. Founded in 1896 right there in the tiny town of Horicon. Horicon was just kind of like a lot of cities here in Wisconsin, sort of getting up and running and finding its way as Wisconsin. It wasn't even 50 years old. Well, here is Horicon Bank today, still serving the community, still working to get that business of yours off the ground with service and products that go hand in hand. Top-notch products that'll help meet your cash flow needs. And financing requests with Horicon Bank can be approved in days, not weeks. Your banker at Horicon Bank understands you. They understand your business. They understand how it all works together. They get the job done at Horicon Bank in Horicon, and with newer branches now open in New Berlin and Wauwatosa, Menominee Falls, and Grafton, out in West Bend as well. It's Horicon Bank, together doing good for 130 years. And member FDIC.
Every child deserves someone who won't give up on them. That's what Lacausa's Treatment Foster Care program provides.
She just made me feel like I could breathe. At the end of the phone call, she said, "I love you." And I'm like, you don't even know me, but I felt like she did love me. It just let me know everything's gonna be okay. Like, everything is gonna be okay.
One caring adult can change a child's life. Learn how you can become a foster parent with Lacausa at lacausa.org.
Coming up on 12:30, Greg Matzik here. Your top story: which Democratic candidate is in the lead?
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Following surprise attacks by Iran on U.S. assets, U.S. forces across the Middle East are on high alert. President Trump vowing to retaliate. The renewed hostilities and uncertainty with gas and oil prices are factors the Federal Reserve Board is watching as it decides what's next with interest rates. Here's ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
There's a lot more uncertainty going into this Fed meeting than we typically have. Usually the Fed's moves are pretty well telegraphed. The market knows what to expect. This time around, there's less certainty about it, and that's in part because we've had less communication from the new Fed chair, Kevin Warsh. He has made a point to say they don't want to telegraph exactly what the Fed is doing ahead of their decisions like the one this afternoon, and also because of the fact that you have these inflationary concerns.
Tense moments on Capitol Hill. Dr. Anthony Fauci appearing before a Senate hearing on the COVID response. He invoked his Fifth Amendment rights and declined to answer questions. He received a preemptive pardon from President Biden before he left office. This is ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:31. Decision Wisconsin. Democratic gubernatorial candidate Francesca Hong's lead over her primary opponents grows by double digits in the latest Marquette University Law School poll.
Hong's advantage over former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes amongst likely Democratic voters goes from an 11% margin last week to 22% in new figures released Wednesday. The poll was taken before Tuesday night's Democratic debate, but after Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley re-entered the field, who is polling in the single digits. When it comes to Governor Tony Evers' endorsement of Crowley, more than half of respondents noted it made no difference to them. The poll is the final one from Marquette Law, planned before the August 11th primary. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
During the gubernatorial candidate debate on Channel 12 last night, two candidates pushed back on the idea that voters would be wasting their ballots in August by supporting them.
During Tuesday night's debate, Joel Brennan and Kelda Royce, both polling in the single digits, were asked whether voters should back someone else. Brennan says his experience sets him apart.
I served as the top appointee to Governor Evers. We created the largest budget surplus in state history. The challenge I have had is that people don't know me as well as they know some other candidates around the state.
Royce says she's ready to govern on day one.
I am the candidate in this race that brings the most experience in and around state government. I've been the candidate that has turned progressive ideas into law. That kind of experience is absolutely essential.
The winner of the August Democratic primary will likely face Republican Congressman Tom Tiffany in November. Nizer Spencer, WTMJ News.
We Energy says power has been restored to nearly all customers after this week's tornado and severe storms in the Fox Valley. Crews are still working on those hardest hit areas, however. We Energy spokesperson Brendan Conway tells WTMJ crews have restored power to more than 122,000 customers.
We look back at just since 2020, we've had more severe, what we call large outages, 100,000 or more customers than we had in the previous 40 plus years.
We Energies expect service to be restored to nearly everyone outside of the Fox Valley by later this evening, with repairs continuing into Thursday in tornado-damaged areas.
Milwaukee Public Schools, MPS, has approved a new policy governing school resource officers. The Committee on Strategic Planning and Budget voted 7-0 last night to adopt the policy after adding language addressing students' Miranda rights. District leaders say students helped shape that final version. MPS Superintendent Dr. Brenda Caselius.
This policy in particular was a policy that we worked on with students quite a bit. It took a little bit to get us here, but we're in a really good place, and the students, I think, feel very valued that their voice was heard and that we made the changes that they recommended, and we took our time on this policy.
The policy outlines the role of school resource officers in schools as the district prepares to bring officers back to campus.
Lincoln Avenue School on Milwaukee's southwest side is a total loss from a fire last month, but the bigger issue is that it did not have working sprinklers.
Milwaukee Public Schools superintendent estimates the cost to retrofit a school with sprinklers would be $1 to $2 million. Fire Chief Aaron Lipsky says he's seeing too much tragedy to just dismiss this issue.
Having seen so much death and so much injury, I'm not in a position where I'm willing to just give up on the discussion because someone else says it's too expensive.
The cause of the fire is under investigation, but there's one thing investigators have ruled out.
There does not appear to be any foul play or an active intent to start this terrible fire.
Julia Fellow, WTMJ News.
Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 12:35.
Do you have an upcoming wedding, a bridal or baby shower, maybe a family reunion? WTMJ's John Mercure here. I highly recommend having your party at the historic Fox and Hound Supper Club. Half your dinners are free. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner's free every single night, even for special events. Choice steaks, seafood, pasta. How about the surf and turf? Any entree, buy one, get one free. Desserts, my favorite part, is buy one, get one free. Celebrate a birthday, an anniversary, a retirement, or just a quiet free dinner with your sweetie. Have your company employee appreciation dinner at the Fox and Hounds. Half your dinners are free, and it's a gorgeous setting right in the heart of the Kettle Moraine near Holy Hill. Spectacular views. Gift cards are also the perfect year-round gifts, as your second dinner is always free. Order online, and your gift cards will arrive shortly. I've done this many times. Reserve your wedding shower, rehearsal, or family dinner today. Half your dinners are free every night at the Fox and Hounds. Google, call, and reserve.
And now, about your house. Eric Brown is the president of Siding Unlimited, your contractor for new windows, roofing, siding, decks, and a whole lot more. He knows about your house. So what do you know, Eric?
Recently, Siding Unlimited installed new windows in a home, and the homeowner loved the experience. Linda W. said, I was extremely satisfied with the service that was provided by Siding Unlimited. I had a new roof and new windows installed in my house. Linda loved that she chose the right company for peace of mind. She also loved the colors. Larry, another Siding Unlimited customer, was thrilled with the experience. Larry's home looks brand new. Go to our Siding Unlimited Instagram page and see our pinned message to listen to Larry's testimonial, but also see his house. Again, Siding Unlimited, knocking it out of the park. Looking for new windows, siding, roofing, and doors? Visit the 5-time Pella Platinum Premier National Window Contractor of the Year winner at sidingunlimited.com. Definitely listen to Larry on Instagram at Siding Unlimited LLC.
Eric and his crews at Siding Unlimited are your go-to contractor here for roofing and also replacement windows, decks, and of course siding. They've done it all at the Matzik households over the years. It started with windows, transforming our 1953 Milwaukee home into something beautiful. And then, on our new house, brand new LP Smart Side siding. Built 8 years ago, our house still looks brand new. Make sure to connect with Eric about patio projects as well. They've expanded our outdoor living space to an area fit with a beautiful cedar pergola, paver patio, gas fire pit, and more. The best in lighting? I can control it from my phone. All there at Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more. Take the next step and check them out at sidingunlimited.com. Siding Unlimited. Truly siding and a whole lot more.
It's a winning explosion at Potawatomi Casino Hotel, Milwaukee. This July, Winplosion rockets in, bursting with $300,000 in cash and reward play. For your shot at winning, just play with your rewards card. Then join us for the Thursday night prize drawings. Plus, every Winplosion entry also counts toward the big WinFest Grand Finale in September. It's Winplosion. Big bang, big bucks. Only at Potawatomi. More info online. Must be 21 and a rewards member to play.
Are you looking for a welcoming place to unwind? Vince Vitrano here. Our family found a home at Racine Country Club. Premier golf on the historic championship course, rolling terrain, famously fast greens, tight fairways, and scenic Root River views. Work your game year-round with indoor simulators, hitting bays, top-notch practice facilities, and leagues for every level. Plus, at Racine Country Club, you enjoy elevated dining, swimming, and a full calendar of family-friendly events. Join me on the course at Racine Country Club, racinecountryclub.com.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. Packers begin training camp with 2 kickers on the roster, 6th-round draft pick Trey Smack and newly signed international prospect Lenny Krieg.
As we know, with all positions, but particularly kickers, it can take some time to become a great kicker in this league. So we really like Trey. We really like what he's made of, and we'll kind of see how it goes. But we're really optimistic that he has a chance to be one of those guys.
It's Packers general manager Brian Gutekunst. The team released kicker Lucas Havrisik on Tuesday. Green Bay begins camp with 10 players on the physically unable to perform list, including Micah Parsons and tight end Tucker Kraft. Brewers first baseman Jake Bauers has a fractured right big toe. He is expected to avoid a stint on the injured list, however. Brewers go for a series win over the Giants this afternoon in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 2:10 on WTMJ.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver traffic. I like what I'm seeing right now. There's not much to check out. We do have one Lonely, broken down vehicle on 4194 North, very close to Wisconsin 165. The left shoulder is blocked due to that car that's broken down in Kenosha County. Closer to Milwaukee, all of our disabled vehicles are up and running again. They've cleared. Great news there. No crashes either. We do have our typical delays in our construction zones on 4145 in the Butler and Mayfair area, as well as American Family Field, both eastbound and westbound.
Beautiful day today, sunny and less humid, high 80 degrees, clear tonight and a low of 64. Partly cloudy, a little more humid and a little warmer on Thursday with a high of 86. Scattered showers are likely on Friday with a high of 80. Saturday's high 75. Early rain possible, then mostly cloudy. Sunday looks great, mostly sunny with a high of 75 degrees. 78 in Milwaukee at 1241.
This week, the American Red Cross declared a national blood supply crisis, only the second one in its history. Now comes the bigger question. Why? What's driving such a steep drop in donations? And why is the demand side booming? ABC's Jim Ryan joins us with the details. Jim, let's start with the dramatic drop in donations first. What's behind that?
Well, I mean, it really started during the pandemic. We had a dramatic decline in blood donations, Jessica, because people couldn't get out and give blood. Even if they wanted to, they were essentially stuck at home. Blood drives were canceled nationwide. We never really did recover from that. In 2022, along came that massive freeze, and there was suddenly a greater need for blood that year. That was the first time in its history that the American Red Cross declared a blood shortage crisis. Now we're at the second time in its history. The American Red Cross has made that declaration that it's in an emergency situation, that there is a critical need for donated blood.
And Jim, what about the increase in demand for blood? What's changed there?
Well, every summer, of course, we see that increase. We see more accidents, more trauma, more hospital visits. People, they set up elective surgeries for the summer because maybe they have some time off of work. So the demand naturally goes up. It's the supply side that's in real trouble this time around, this summer, because people might be on vacation, they have something scheduled, they can't be there, but you've also got the extreme heat in much of the country. Yeah. You've got that smoke in the Northeast. You've got the foodborne illnesses going around that are keeping people from wanting to get out of the house and get out in the heat or the smoke or be exposed to some illness. So that's really cutting into the donations.
We're talking with ABC's Jim Ryan about blood banks hitting the panic button right now. Jim, are inventories low across the board, or are there certain blood types that are needed more than others?
Well, yeah, there are some needed more than others, but yeah, it is a shortage across all the blood types. O positive is in deep demand right now. They have about a 1-day supply nationally of O positive blood. O negative, of course, is the universal donor type. So if you have O negative, you're in deep demand there because your blood can be used for anybody. And then you got a more rare blood type. Mine's AB positive, not a lot of those around, but that means that there's not a lot of AB positive on hand. So, yeah, it's across the board in terms of the supply, but special need for those O types.
If donations don't rebound soon, what's the next domino to fall? I'm thinking about hospitals and do we have to delay elective procedures? Are there other impacts coming?
Oh, absolutely. I think hospital administrators and their own internal blood banks are looking at it very carefully, measuring out how much they have, deciding which surgeries might be postponed for a time, letting patients know that, you know what, we can't do that elective surgery next month because we just don't have enough of your blood type on hand. So, yeah, those decisions, they're tough decisions, but yeah, they're being made at hospitals all over the country.
We talked about the seasonal issue, and we always see a dip in donations in summer, but how much of this kind of crisis mode now is a short-term seasonal issue versus a longer-term trend that's concerning the Red Cross?
Well, I mean, if you consider that the first crisis, the emergency crisis, blood supply in the American Red Cross was declared 4 years ago. The American Red Cross is 150 years old, something like that, 1881. And so it's unfortunately perhaps a trend because we did see that during the pandemic. And now we're at our second crisis declaration since then. It's going to be difficult to dig out of the hole. Here's a bit of good news, though, Jessica. American Red Cross says that if just three more people went to each blood drive, and there are blood drives all over the country, including Milwaukee right now, I'm sure, if just three more people would show up, the crisis would be over. It would be averted, at least for a time, until maybe the weather cools off. But yeah, that's all it would really take is just three people at each blood drive rolling up their sleeves.
All right. Well, I've got Gina over here. I can go. We'll grab one more person. We'll get out to that blood drive and we'll help out. Thanks so much, Jim. We appreciate it.
See you, Jessica.
ABC's Jim Ryan.
Capri Communities presents Golden Memories from the Wisconsin State Fair.
Hi, my name is Connie. Back in 1971, after a long day at the fair, trying to meet boys, we decided to go to the grandstand show, which was Karen and Richard Carpenter. And we sat behind three boys. And one of those boys, to get him to pay attention to me, I took his wallet. When we got married on June 2nd, 1979.
Join Capri Communities at the Wisconsin State Fair Monday, August 10th for Senior Day from 10 a.m. to 4 p.m.
Helping people and families seriously injured in accidents and standing up for victims to take the burden off their shoulders. Greg Matzik here. Check in with Gruber Law Offices. If you've been hurt in an accident, they've got your back here. They will fight the legal battle while you focus on healing, which is what you need to be doing if you've been hurt in an accident. You can count on Gruber, one of the largest personal injury firms in the Midwest. It's a family-run business right here in southeastern Wisconsin. They've got quite a team here, 30-plus attorneys ready to fight your legal battle for you, and with results that speak for themselves over the course of 4 decades. Giving back to the community, also a big deal for Gruber. It's hard to find a community initiative they are not behind in a given year. That's Gruber. In a nutshell, helping those in the community and helping you if you've been hurt in an accident. Check them out online at gruber-law.com. Learn about the firm, learn about what they do in the community, and how they can help you if you've been hurt in an accident. Call 414-276-6666.
We demand a lot of our shoulders and hands, our hips and knees, our backs and feet. They do life's heavy lifting, so we owe them the greatest attention. Health Network provides expert orthopedic and spine care to help you move, lift, turn, and reach with the most possible ease. Whether you have a sports-related injury or a nagging condition that just won't go away, excellence should always be an option. So we make our care available in nearby locations and offer same-day ortho and spine appointments when relief can't wait. It's how to recover quicker, prevent small concerns from becoming big ones, and solve complex issues with the expertise you can only get with academic medicine. We're given just one body, so let's tend to it, check in on it. Let's give it the greatest of care, because when it's tuned up and injury-free, we can always be pushing ahead. To learn more about our nationally recognized orthopedic and spine care, visit freighter.com/ortho.
Acumen Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLSConsumerAccess.org, number 255368.
Don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval. Get the pre-approval listing agents and sellers recognized as better than the rest. The rock-solid guaranteed pre-approval from Accunet. Get yours by clicking on the blue button at accunet.com.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
Well, today is a winner. High of 80 degrees, plenty of sunshine, less humidity, gorgeous day. Hope you get a chance to enjoy it. Overnight low around 60 degrees. Tomorrow we bump up to 86. It'll feel more humid and it will be warmer. We introduced rain back in the forecast on Friday. Good chance of it with the high in the low 80s. 79 your high on Saturday. Chance of early showers. It's 78 and sunny in Milwaukee at 12:49.
Can we just take a moment to acknowledge that jingle about the shingles?
Well, if you need shingles, they want to mingle.
It gets me snapping.
Get together.
I like this new one.
The official term of mingle, what's the definition? You get together, right?
It's a good new jingle. If you think about back in the day, do you have some of your favorite jingles?
Well, now, I've been here for like 25 years, so some of the jingles that I remember hearing when I started are still on the air right now, including the Marty's Pizza jingle.
That's a good one.
Let's see, Kendor Marine stands out, right? That's kind of a banger.
What about, I just think about commercials back in the day, too, like Ernie Von Schledorn, Main Street in Menominee Falls.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Anything Menards always sticks in my mind from back in the day, too. Save big money.
Emergency TV service.
Yes. Yeah, it's kind of a creepy old school ad, and it was always on during The Price is Right.
But I'm telling you, I'm snapping during that shingles jingle now.
Okay.
Well, hey, new technology is addressing the ongoing housing crisis in the U.S. News Nation's Nancy Liu explains.
3D printed homes, they're a big example of how the future is now. More of them are going up every day. They are made of concrete and rebar. And since it's largely constructed by a massive 3D printer, it only takes about 2.5 months to build an entire home. Unlike traditional homes framed out with wood, cement offers protection against termites, dry rot, water, and fire.
A 3D printed home costs about $200 per square foot. And listen to this, a California home recently sold for about $375,000 compared to the national average of $475,000. A 3D printed home.
It is pretty amazing stuff. There's a whole 3D printed community right now in Georgetown, Texas, which is a pretty affluent suburb in that area in Texas. It developed between a partnership between a construction tech firm and a home builder. So there's 100 homes in this development, and it's fairly close to Austin. It's the world's largest 3D printed community. Single-story 3D printed homes. They take about 3 weeks to finish printing, which is incredible. And the price for these homes, anywhere between $400,000 and $600,000. It works in Texas. It works in Arizona. It works pretty much anywhere you don't have a basement, right? I mean, these are wall systems that are above the ground. If you got a block basement or poured foundation, I think you still need the contractor to do that kind of stuff. So anything below ground, below grade, you need people to knock that out, at least for now anyway. Technology certainly could take this to another level, but these are wall systems that go up, and it looks like Play-Doh going back and forth.
Yeah, you're right.
Up and
Making
up.
that sound, I like it.
You know, they make gaps for where windows should be. It's kind of a fascinating process, and there's some good YouTube videos on it, but it's cost-effective, less waste, goes up pretty quick. And in this case, it kind of reduces your overall cost.
I'm trying to think back to when 3D printers really became big, because they were around well before most of us even knew they were around, but I feel like they became big in the early 2010s. I remember doing a story going to one of the schools. It might have. Actually, I think it was here in Wisconsin, and just seeing how the kids were using them. And the kids were using 3D printers to create little mini cities, and it was a part of their project. And now it feels like you can print just about anything you want. Have your kids ventured into the 3D printing world?
A little bit. So they do things that they do. My youngest daughter, if they do a good thing in class, they're offered an opportunity to make something on the 3D printer. And the school has a few of them. She made like a little mini bird feeder, which I thought was really cute. But yes, I mean, they're exploring this, and I'm sure in a variety of school districts across the country. But this certainly takes it to another level when you're talking about a full housing development with 100 homes in it, right? But think about how quickly that development goes up, right? One of the things, if you move into a new subdivision, if you're one of the early houses, it feels like you're 10 years from having all those lots filled and the homes built. And it's just a constant state of construction, which can be annoying, but once you get by it, you're in good shape. Well, this goes up in a matter of a few weeks, and maybe within a year or 2 years, you're full on, right? That subdivision is up and running at a fraction of the cost it would take and with much less waste.
Yeah, they cut costs, and they're also speeding up the timeline for contractors. So 3D printers being used right now to address the ongoing housing crisis here in America.
Yeah, fascinating stuff here. Wisconsin's Midday News podcast is built by Siding Unlimited. Wherever you get your podcasts, you can find us, subscribe, and take us with you wherever you go. Also, a reminder that we're on YouTube, so hop into our studio here for the next hour and change or so, and comment along, see what we're doing in the studio. It's always a lot of fun. Coming up a little later in the program, we're going to connect with Matt Smith, political reporter for WISN 12. He was the moderator, along with Jaron Jordan, last night's gubernatorial debate. I want to get his takeaways. Now we've got some information on the most recent Marquette Law School poll, which suggests that Francisca's Hong's stranglehold on the race is starting to grow a little bit. So we'll dive in with Matt. Did he miss anything? Any questions he wished he had a chance to do over?
And what happened afterwards in the spin room?
They did a great job, by the way. I thought the moderators did a fantastic job. but overall, it lacked a little spice, if I'm being perfectly candid. Want to get Matt's thoughts coming up in just a few minutes. Coming up on 12:55 here on WTMJ.
Politics, work, daily stressors. Let's take a break from all that and get centered, Christ-centered. I'm Pastor Tim Butker. Join me each week for Christian Crusaders, a broadcast that highlights the gospel, the good news of Jesus, and our belief in the authoritative Word of God. Christ-centered, gospel-oriented, Bible-based Christian Crusaders. Please join us Sundays at 6 a.m. on WTMJ. We'd love to have you worship with us.
Hey, Greg Nansick here from my good friends at Inspired Closets Milwaukee. Every time I walk into our master closet, I am so thankful for the work done by Inspired Closets. We had a disaster of a situation. It was cluttered. It was overflowing with clothes. Nothing really stayed on that builder-grade racking that was starting to fall apart anyway and starting to chip. It was just a bad situation. I don't like clutter, and I don't like stress, and we had it in our master closet. Well, no more, thanks to Inspired Closets Milwaukee. They came out, Katie and Dan, they took some measurements, and we talked about things that we wanted to have in that space. We talked about drawers that would mimic a dresser. We talked about having some cabinets that would hide all of our shoes, and a cabinet that would hide our laundry hamper that we can pull out. We wanted a little bit of glass doors to hide some of our things that we wanted to sort of show, but wanted to make sure we're also out of the way of dust and clutter. Inspired Closets Milwaukee did an incredible job with the installation and design. They'll do the same for you in whatever space in your house needs that organizational touch. You will feel less stress, I promise you, to live a clutter-free lifestyle. That's what we all should attain. It's Inspired Closets Milwaukee for that mudroom redo, that pantry redo. How about the laundry room? Ask what they can do in your garage, master closet, linen closet, you name it. InspiredCloset.Milwaukee.com.
John Mercure here for Connect Chiropractic. Life today can keep us stuck in stress mode. Headaches, poor sleep, constant tension, feeling worn down. At Connect Chiropractic, the focus isn't just masking symptoms, it's finding the root cause, helping your nervous system function the way it was designed so your body can heal, adapt, and perform at its best. If you deal with headaches, sleep struggles, or neck and back pain from long days at a desk, take a closer look. Start with a first visit at Connect Chiropractic. It includes advanced scans, digital x-rays, helping uncover what's really going on. Connect Chiropractic.
Some days you watch the game. On WTMJ Day, you live it.
Back at the track. Whoa!
Fire up the grill and join the WTMJ team on August 29th, for we watch the crew deliver the highlights.
We are all witnesses.
WTMJ Day is sponsored by Big Fish Contracting, Woodman's, and Left's Lucky Town.
Would you like fries with that?
We are the home of the Brewers. WTMJ. WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee. From the Annex Wealth Management Studios, this is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
There's not a bad time to better insulate your home, but there is a better time, and it's right now. Vince Vitrano here just talked with Jeff from USA Insulation. Jeff says they always get busy in the fall and early winter as everyone's concerned about keeping their houses warm. But doing a project with USA Insulation does just as well to keep your house cooler in the summer months and saving you money on your electric bills. Tell Jeff Vinny told you want the government rebates and discounts that can save you thousands on your project. Get started at usainsulation.net.
You've seen us around town, volunteering, supporting events, and showing up where it matters. At Waterstone Bank, we're more than a bank. We're your neighbor. The money you deposit stays local, helping small businesses, creating jobs, and supporting home ownership. It's banking from the community for the community. Visit your local branch or WSBOnline.com to see how we're building a stronger southeastern Wisconsin, one neighbor at a time. Waterstone Bank, member FDIC.
Do you know the secret to losing up to 1 pound of fat every day? At Milwaukee Weight Loss, we know the secret. Our doctor-developed, easy-to-follow weight loss program helps you lose weight fast, naturally and safely, and with no drugs or injections with risk of serious side effects, no prepackaged meals, bars, shakes, and no exercising required. Our program helps reset your metabolism so you can keep the weight off for good with a coach for ongoing support. Our program costs up to half as much and works up to twice as fast as most other other programs. Go to MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com to schedule your free consultation.
Many of us struggle to lose weight. I use Milwaukee Weight Loss to lose the weight I've wanted to lose for a long time. And the great thing is I've kept it off now for over a year. Lost 45 pounds last year, another almost 10 pounds this year with the goal of losing maybe 10 more. For a limited time, get $200 off of their summer special. Book your free consultation at MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. I can do it. You can do it. We can all do it. Let's lose weight together. That's MilwaukeeWeightLoss.com. Results may vary.
Transform your home today. Exterior Pros. Trust the pros.
The road leads west. Next stop, San Francisco.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He strikes out the side in the fourth. Strikeout number 11 for Jacob Mizorowski. Stand and applaud.
The Brewers take on the Giants today at Oracle Park. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 2:10 on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
It's 1 o'clock. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, July 29th. Your top story, delaying a vote on data centers.
I'm Jessica Ty. Plans underway for Lincoln Avenue schools displace students after a fire.
Beautiful day today, high of 80 degrees. Less humid, overnight low 62. Tomorrow's high 86 and slightly more humid. It's 78 degrees in Milwaukee. At 1 o'clock from the WTMJ breaking newsroom, Milwaukee's effort to temporarily halt new data centers is on hold. A Common Council committee delaying a vote Tuesday after the city attorney said state law requires a public hearing before a moratorium can move forward. Alderwoman Marina Dmitrievich says the proposal isn't about stopping development.
We are not trying to stop innovation here or investment. What we're trying to do throughout this pause and then the legislation is to really center people. We do need regulation before this rapid expansion. I think that if we're responsible and we don't just chase new technology, we actually protect public interest.
A public hearing could be held as early as next month as the city continues working on permanent data center regulations.
Decision Wisconsin. Milwaukee County Executive David Crowley says his background has prepared him to lead Wisconsin.
I grew up in the 53206 zip code where I had to work extremely hard for everything that I have. And so I'm not here to protect the establishment. I'm here to deliver real results for Wisconsinites all over our state. I like to make decisions based off of the data, based off of facts. And we learned ever since that day that a lot of things have changed and we were going off of false data. So we know that the stakes are too high this upcoming election, and that's why I got back into this race.
That was Crowley during the Democratic gubernatorial debate hosted by Channel 12 last night. Crowley re-entered the race after Lieutenant Governor Sarah Rodriguez dropped out over campaign reporting errors. There are 5 Democratic candidates who will appear on the partisan primary ballot, and that election is coming up on August 11th.
Lincoln Avenue School on Milwaukee's southwest side, a total loss after a fire last month. Now, nearly 500 Milwaukee students will begin the school year at Pulaski High School. Principal Demarius Ayala tells Wisconsin's Afternoon News the logistics for the move are starting to come together.
We know exactly where we think the K-3s are going to go in reference to where the cafeteria, the bathroom is, where the playground is. We're now wrapping up the orders for furniture. We're now talking about the supplies, the playground equipment. So everything is going very quickly.
Bus transportation is still being worked out for families. School begins for MPS September 1st.
Saudi Arabia has joined the U.S. in attacking Iranian-backed troops in Iraq. News Nation's Jessica Cartalia.
This attack came after CENTCOM says that Iranian-backed groups launched more than 30 drone attacks over the past 72 hours. CENTCOM saying today that those attacks were directed by the IRGC. They targeted both U.S. troops and Saudi energy infrastructure. Saudi Arabia is now saying that it joined the operation after its oil facilities came under repeated drone attacks throughout the week. And Saudi Arabia certainly did not want to get involved in this, that this is what they call self-defense.
No word on when the U.S. and Iran will resume peace talks.
Federal Reserve keeping interest rates unchanged in the midst of the uncertainty stemming from the war in Iran. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze.
Oil prices today are up about 8% as of right now. That is a significant move higher that is going to, as we have seen over the past few months, trickle into higher prices in other parts of the economy. And as this uncertainty over exactly where oil prices land, but the fact is they are still higher now than they were at the start of the war. That is put pressure on inflation. And the Fed is in a position where it's looking at this and saying, do we need to raise interest rates to try to bring some of those prices down over the long term?
Stocks have been on a downward spiral today in response to continued fighting and statements from the president about more retaliation. Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow off about 700 points. Believe it or not, that's better than it was about an hour ago at 52,077. NASDAQ is starting to rebound a little bit. It was down about 300 points a little over an hour ago. Now it's down about 35 at 24,830. And the S&P off about 25 this afternoon at 74.04. For sound financial advice from a fee-only fiduciary, it's Annex Wealth Management. Go to annexwealth.com and click on the Get Started button today.
Packers training camp is open. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 105.
The historic Fox and Hound Supper Club is the most beautiful, unique, and affordable summer dining destination. WTMJ's John Merck here. I love the Fox and Hounds. When you buy one dinner, your second dinner is free, including prime rib every Wednesday and Saturday, desserts and ice cream drinks, buy one, get one free. Order a hand-cut choice ribeye steak, pan-seared scallops, the roasted duck, pan-fried walleye, pasta, the ribs, any entree, your second dinner is free 7 nights a week. Wow, what a value. Relax with a cold beverage on that patio in the woods, then dinner in one of the 8 unique dining rooms. Your second dinner is free. It is a dining experience at the historic Fox and Hounds. The award-winning Fox and Hounds Supper Club off Highway 167 near Holy Hill. The drive through the Kettle Moraine is stunning. A Wisconsin summer must-see. Wherever you live, it's worth the beautiful drive and free dinner at the Fox and Hounds. So step away from your kitchen, call and reserve your free dinner today. It's the famous Fox and Hounds.
It's a border matchup when the Brewers take on the Twins Friday, August 7th through Sunday the 9th. It doesn't get any more Midwest than a Brewers Bar dice giveaway. The first 25,000 fans 21 and older can collect it at the game on Saturday the 8th, courtesy of Miller Lite. Follow it up with a bobblehead that's perfect for kids and collectors at Sesame Street Day. The Oscar the Grouch Bobble with a special ticket package. Get your tickets at Brewers.com.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
For 70 years, Geis has been the trusted garage authority in Wisconsin. WTMJ's Greg Matzik here. Don't let a busted garage door get you down. Call my friends at Geis today. With brands like CHI and LiftMaster, they have doors for every budget and will even build custom designs to meet your exact needs. For swift and reliable garage repair solutions, go to GeisDoors.com. You can also visit their amazing showroom in Brookfield and their custom design room.
Don't think twice. Call Geis.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers go for a series win this afternoon against the Giants in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 2:10 on WTMJ. Road trip wraps up with 3 against the Angels in Anaheim before the August 3rd trade deadline. Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey expects the roster to be fortified.
I mean, history says they'll do something. I don't know whether it's big fish or several smaller fishes, but Matt Arnold has always done something to help this club when they are, in contention like they are.
Packers running back Josh Jacobs enters training camp with an open and unresolved domestic abuse investigation that the Brown County District Attorney's Office continues to lead. Training camp practice number 1 wrapping up. Jacobs on the field. Here's GM Brian Gutekunst.
Yeah, really nothing's changed. I mean, those things are obviously legal matters that are out of our hands, and so, but he'll be out there, and we look forward to him being out there. He's obviously such a big, important part of our football team. So, and he's healthy, and I think he looks really good.
Camp continues on Thursday with a 10:30 practice at Ray Nitschke Field.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. This is a great afternoon. Besides our delays in the construction zones, which we have every day, we have no crashes, and we only have 2 disabled vehicles, and they're in spots where traffic is moving freely. I-94 East at the ramp from County J. Right shoulder's blocked there due to a car that's broken down, but not a lot of traffic right now, and everybody is going at a decent speed. Also, one out on I-94 West, a little bit beyond the ramp from 73. Right shoulder's blocked there due to another car that's broken down.
Gorgeous day today, high of 80 degrees, little less humid, plenty of sunshine, overnight low 62. Tomorrow we warm up a little bit, high of 86 degrees. No rain in the forecast, but humid conditions. Looks like a better chance of rain on Friday with a high of 85 degrees. Chance of early showers on Saturday with a high of 79. It's currently 78 in Milwaukee at 109.
Live from the Annex Wealth Management Studios in downtown Milwaukee, it's Wisconsin's Midday News, making stories come to life. Now, here are your hosts, Greg Matzik and Jessica Ty.
Well, after a couple of late-night Brewers games, did you stay up for those? We've got an early afternoon Brewers and Giants affair, so we'll send you out to San Francisco at about 2:10 after the Brewers picked up a win last night. I did not stay up for it. I used to live for those late-night games, and now I'm like, Tom and Jerry, the cartoon where he's like peeling his eyes back with tape to try and keep them open.
Visualize it.
Yeah, I can get through like inning 3 now, and I just kind of fall apart.
And you don't have coffee after a certain time of day, so.
Yeah, I try not to caffeinate past 2.
Yeah, you don't want to break that rule.
No, not at all.
And now it's time for 3 Big Things on Wisconsin's Midday News.
Number 1, unprecedented damage. That's how Menasha Utilities describes what it's working through right now after a tornado tore through the town on Monday. Crews from more than a dozen different communities have now arrived at the city to help with power restoration. The city of Menasha has its own municipal electric utility, and they say it will be days yet before those customers have power yet. The police department also just gave a new update.
While it may not always be obvious why crews are working in one location before another, every repair is part of the larger restoration effort. Crews from 16 municipalities are assisting Menasha Utilities under difficult and often dangerous conditions. We are grateful for the extraordinary work that these crews are doing, and we also ask everyone for a little bit more patience. Progress is being made every hour, and together, we'll get through this.
Meanwhile, We Energy says it expects to restore power to all customers outside of the Fox Valley by tonight. Crews will continue work tomorrow in the tornado-damaged areas. In parts of the Fox Valley, crews are actually rebuilding sections of the electric system from the ground up. So it is a lot of work. And it's something important to keep in mind when you hear We Energy say, they put out the numbers saying we have restored power to this many people after the storms. Well, in Menasha, it's a unique story because they have their own utility, and there are a lot of people who are still going to be without power for a while.
Well, number 2, Marquette Law poll finds expanded support for Francesca Hong in the Democratic primary. Mandela Barnes sits in second. Milwaukee County Executive David Crawley in third. 62% they have heard of Governor Evers' endorsement of Crawley. 36% say it makes him more likely to support him, but he is also seen unfavorable by 10% of those who are polled. Hong seems to do best with younger voters and those who describe themselves as very liberal. Barnes and Crawley seem to do better with older and moderate voters. The big number that is different from the previous Marquette Law School poll, 34% of primary voters remain undecided. So that's down from 45% from the previous poll. However, it should be noted
it's still a lot.
It's still a lot, right? You're exactly right about that. And it was also conducted before last night's debate. And I'm not sure how much that would move the needle. There wasn't anything terribly explosive out of the debate last night that might, sink the ship of one and really buoy the other. But it is worth noting that we're down to 34% of primary voters who remain undecided. If you want to go in order here, it seems like Francesca Hong is the front runner according to this poll, followed by Mandela Barnes at 16%, then David Crawley, Joel Brennan, and Kelda Royce. But each of them fall below the 10% mark. We'll dive into this and last night's debate with political director from WISN, Matt Smith, coming up in just a couple of minutes.
Number 3, schools are now turning to a high-tech device to fight active shooters. They're equipping themselves with drones capable of distracting armed suspects.
The aircraft, called Campus Guardian Angel, can ram into a threat at 50 miles per hour. Mithril Defense, the company behind the drone, says they'll be stored at the schools so teachers can activate them during an emergency. But some parents are raising concerns.
They are operated remotely from Texas.
Critics also argue the drones could misidentify a threat, and they argue school resources should go towards preventing gun violence.
ABC's Sophie Flay, the drones work by flashing strobe lights, sounding sirens, and spraying pepper gel At least 9 schools in Florida, Georgia, and Colorado are now being equipped with the drones. I did reach out to the company today to see if Wisconsin is on the list. They say they don't have Wisconsin on the list yet, but they were looking to see if any of the schools in our state have inquired, and they're going to get back to me on that one.
Who did well in last night's debate? Who didn't? And does Matt Smith want any do-over questions? We'll ask him. WISN Political Director Matt Smith joins us after this.
I'm Matt Dorner, CEO of Milwaukee Downtown Bid 21. Our business leaders value downtown Milwaukee.
We're proud to call downtown Milwaukee our home for over a century. I'm Mary Ellen Stanek, president of Baird Funds. As one of downtown's largest employers, Baird has a deep dedication to the community here. You could say we're invested in downtown's success.
Get down to business at MilwaukeeDowntown.com.
Greg Matzek here for Siding Unlimited, the best of the bunch when it comes to installation of fine quality products that will protect and beautify your home's exterior. So what does that mean? Well, windows, siding, roofing, doors, you name it. It's Siding Unlimited. They can help with your gutters if they've been entrenched and overtaken by winter weather, ice dams, all that kind of stuff. Siding Unlimited can help with all of it. It's Siding Unlimited, the best of the bunch when it comes to installation of those products, and they have the awards to prove what I've been telling you for decades. You can also just see the work they've done on my homes over the years. Take it from me. The best installation crews are at Siding Unlimited. A lot of places have great products, but if you don't have great installation, you're kind of back to square one, right? Siding Unlimited gets it. They do it right the first time. Visit sidingunlimited.com.
When you're at the State Fair, be sure to check out the Big 5-9 main stage, featuring amazing acts like Nelly, For King and Country, Winona Judd, Melissa Etheridge, and more. Tickets are on sale now. Big 5-9 is a proud sponsor of the fair and a proud supporter of the local Wisconsin communities they have served since 1859. So grab your bucket of lemonade or beer, something on a stick, and join Big 5-9 at the Wisconsin State Fair between August 6th and August 16th. Member FDIC.
Prizes, flyaways, even cash money. You want it? We've got it. Find a list of all contests and official rules by visiting WTMJ.com/contests. That's WTMJ.com/contests.
$80 degrees your high today, plenty of sunshine, not a lot of humidity. Pretty nice day. Overnight low 62. Tomorrow's high 86 degrees under sunny skies and a little bit more muggy. On Friday, we introduce a pretty good chance of rain with a high of 84 degrees. Early chance of rain on Saturday and a high of 78. It's 78 and sunny in Milwaukee at 116.
I served as the top appointee to Governor Evers. We created the largest budget surplus in state history. We increased the rainy day fund.
Been the only person on the stage who's actually won statewide in 2018 when we kicked Scott Walker out of office for good.
I have been turning the good ideas that we've shared into state law in the toughest of political environments.
We have to tackle property taxes by, one, investing in our education system. Shouldn't have to choose between mandated services and whether or not they're going to have teachers.
I do not support the full platform of the national DSA, and I'm not endorsed by DSA National.
Debate night. Some sounds from Marquette University as the 5 candidates for the Democratic side of the gubernatorial race on stage together. Gloves off, right? Got to be spicy. Time to attack.
But were there fireworks?
No, not so much. Let's welcome in WISN Political Director Matt Smith, who did an incredible job moderating last night, along with his teammate Ron Jordan. Matt, thanks for joining us.
Hi, guys. Good afternoon.
Were you expecting a little more spiciness last night? It seemed like there were opportunities to maybe attack the front runner and trying to close the gap a little bit, but nobody really went down that path.
I will say we were definitely prepared for more fireworks than we saw. Going into this, I think as we talked about yesterday, it is such the big unknown as to how these candidates are going to respond and interact with each other. And they may have plans. They clearly have strategies. Clearly they did debate prep. But then you get on stage and the lights turn on, right? And it is a nerve-wracking moment. So, yeah, no one really took the bait from each other and started to go after each other or directly talk to each other as was allowed in the rules. So it was fascinating from that perspective that everyone kind of, for the most part, stayed in their lane.
I think it's respectable that you don't have these candidates attacking each other, but I do think there's something to be said for having some passion in really showing why you were the best person, and then also making sure people know, hey, I'm different than this one, and here's why you need to vote for me. I think those are two different things. I'm curious from... Oh, go on, Matt.
Go ahead. No, I was just going to say, and there were those moments to do that, and you're right. There's a major risk if you are the person who starts to interrupt everyone and try to cut everyone off. There were those moments, though, where they could have rebutted or called out how they are different than their opponents, and especially the frontrunner, Francesca Hong, as we now see the new Marquette poll, who is just expanding her lead. There are some Democrats out there this afternoon who are saying it was a missed opportunity for some of these other candidates to try to distinguish themselves in these final days.
Matt, was there any moment last night that you thought, okay, hey, this could change the course of the race?
Not that dramatically, no. I don't think I think Charles Franklin in his poll release said no one had a major slip up and no one performed super, super well. And I think that's a fine analysis, right? Like everyone was kind of down the middle. I think Francesca Hong's comments on police and policing mirrored with her previous comments. I think that's receiving a lot of attention today, especially nationally. And her association or lack thereof, she says, to the DSA, Democratic Socialists of America, because if she wins, that is only going to be amplified by a million times by Republicans and by groups nationally. So I think that was interesting. I also think we had to work a little bit to get some answers on tax plans, on vouchers in Milwaukee. And I think some of those answers were revealing once we were able to get to the core of some of those plans for the candidates.
Joel Brennan pledged to immediately inject $100 million into addressing the state's child care crisis. Kelda Royce pointed out her long legislative track record. David Crowley pointed that he's actually in office right now, and none of these other individuals are. And Mandela Barnes had an interesting tactic saying, I know what it's like to lose, and I also know what it's like to win. And you learn more when you lose than sometimes when you win. So I guess I wasn't surprised at what each candidate was touting. With Francesca Hong, I imagine the strategy, Matt, was... be neutral. It's okay. Don't be explosive one way or the other. You are leading this race. Just kind of keep it tight to the vest. Don't overextend yourself one way or the other, and you're going to come out ahead.
Yeah, it simply goes to this notion of don't screw up in a debate where you have a viral moment, right? And I don't think any of the candidates got to that point where there was this one viral moment that's exploding everywhere, right? I think more of the conversation today that I've seen and heard is, wow, this was rather tame in terms of what everyone said and did and how they acted and interacted with each other.
If you're a Democrat and you were undecided before your debate last night, I'm wondering if you now know who you're voting for. Are you receiving any feedback from viewers that would suggest the answer is yes or no?
Anecdotally, I have heard some people who either I have seen them publicly or in emails say this was helpful. I now know who I'm going to vote for. So I think those people do exist. I think broadly, did this solve the problems of all the undecided voters in 60 minutes? No, not necessarily. It was rapid fire at times. We had to get through a lot. We tried to get through a lot to kind of give, I guess, a wide variety of where these candidates stand on a number of issues. But I do think it was helpful for some. And we've heard that because this is the first and only time on television in a setting like this, they will all be together ahead of the election.
I think there's no doubt it's helpful. I think all your debates have been very helpful. It's just, to me, it's one of those questions. We have so many people, even the new MU Law poll that came out. I mean, it's the number of undecided on the Democratic side is down, but it's still high. It's still some 30+%. And so while the debates are no doubt helpful because you're learning a little bit more about the candidates, it just makes you wonder whether it's your debate or somebody else's debate. Do they do enough in a case like this to actually give somebody that decision that, hey, I know who I'm voting for next month?
Yeah, and kind of back to your original point, those were those moments for the candidates to try to distinguish themselves. Because, I mean, let's be honest, right? Broadly, they agree upon a lot, right? In terms of policy and where they would like the state to go broadly. It's those specifics where they would need to pull themselves out, whether it be on leadership, whether it be on policy or experience. And I don't know if for all the voters that happened last night.
So, Matt, it took all of 7 minutes for Team Tiffany to send out a press release following last night's debate. I thought it was going to be within 5, but it took 7 minutes, so a little bit of grace as they got their communication organized. But it's very clear that Tom Tiffany and his team believe that Francesca Hong is going to be the Democratic nominee. He is the one, or she is the one, they are calling out in the press release. She is the one they are calling out on social media. They are going directly at her right now. Is that a flawed strategy, or is that on target?
Well, I think it's what we're seeing from a number of Republican groups, not only the campaign, but the RGA, who keeps increasing this ad buy. That, is kind of the reverse psychology. I don't think Republicans broadly hide the fact that they see Francesca Hong as potentially an easier candidate to beat. There's a ton of time between now and November. In the Marquette poll last week, Mandela Barnes is shouting from the rooftops and will probably until Election Day that he was the only one polling that beat Tom Tiffany in a hypothetical head-to-head matchup. I think anyone who can predict what November will look like is out of their mind at this point, right? It's Wisconsin, it's purple. So it will be interesting, but yes, all of the resources of Republicans at this point are now going directly toward Francesca Hong, as some of the Democrats attempted to go directly to Tom Tiffany and avoid each other last night.
I think there is one thing we can predict, Matt, that moving forward, we will see more ads for the Wisconsin governor's race on WISN and hear them right here on 620 WTMJ.
I think that's correct, yes.
Matt, final thing for you. Do you think all 5 of these individuals who were on stage last night will be on the ballot come August 11th? Is anybody dropping out?
Gosh, I mean, they'll all technically be on the ballot. Whether any of them drop out or not, as we sit here at this moment, it does not appear likely, right? Like, if you're in it now, in-person early voting is underway, but who knows? We never could have predicted what would have happened a couple weeks ago with the lieutenant governor. So these things shake up so fast and so furious sometimes. I wouldn't be surprised if 1 or 2 got out. I wouldn't be surprised if they all stayed in at this point.
Matt, great work last night. It was interesting to watch. The line of questioning was on target, and great job. And thanks for joining us.
Thank you.
Appreciate it.
Thank you. Appreciate it. Thanks for your time, guys.
You bet. It's 1:26. News coming up.
Where you live matters. Searching for assisted living can bring a lot of questions and a lot of emotion. At the Wisconsin Assisted Living Association, we believe you need a clear, complete picture without pressure. That's why we partnered with the American Seniors Housing Association on whereyouLiveMatters.org, a one-stop destination with unbiased information to help you understand your options and connect directly with providers in your area. No confusion, just tools that help you take the next step with confidence. Start your research today at whereyouLiveMatters.org.
Well, get ready for a festival lineup like no other. It's WinFest at Potawatomi Casino Hotel in Milwaukee now through September. Play with that Potawatomi Rewards card for entries. If you're not signed up for Potawatomi Rewards, no problem. It's free. You can do it right at the casino. Then all those monthly promo entries will count toward the finale drawings. That'll be Friday, September 25th. Cars, vacations, free play, cash, all up for grabs, and only at Potawatomi. More information is available online. Must be 21 years or older to enter the casino, and a rewards member to play WinFest.
The world's most iconic landscapes are yours to explore with Fox World Travel and Globus. Imagine tasting your way through historic Italy, witnessing the breathtaking waterfalls and glaciers of Iceland, or relaxing on the tropical shores of beautiful Hawaii. With Globus, you get premium, expert-led itineraries and VIP access to major sites, while we handle every travel detail for you. Book your next great adventure today. Call 866-GO-FOX-GO or visit foxworldtravel.com.
WTMJ's Eric Bilstead here for Tri-County Contracting. Hey, reminder, it is summer storm season, and weather damage can be a real issue at the house. So if you think you've got a problem, remember, Tri-County Contracting gives free estimates on any potential wind or hail damage. And here's the best part, they can always work directly with your insurance. It's Tri-County Contracting, WI.com. Love your home again, even during the storm season, with Tri-County Contracting, WI.com.
Shopping for new windows and doors shouldn't feel like a negotiation. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin doesn't believe in games. They never inflate pricing, and there's no high-pressure sales pitch. Just premium windows and doors built for long-term comfort, beauty, and peace of mind. Buy direct through Pella, and one trusted team handles everything with Pella-certified installers every step of the way. Real pricing, premium quality, no games. Pella Windows and Doors of Wisconsin. Schedule your free in-home consultation today at PellaWI.com.
Doing banking differently since 1896. Greg Matzik here for Horicon Bank. Think about that for a second. Over 100 years of focus on the community and your business. At Horicon Bank, financing requests can be approved in days, not weeks, because your banker understands you and your business. And yes, Horicon Bank is expanding, but they've not lost that community-minded feel. I trust Horicon Bank. I've connected with Horicon Bank, and I invite you to do the same. It's Horicon Bank, truly the natural choice, member FDIC.
Every child in foster care deserves someone who believes in them. That's why La Causa is looking for more foster parents.
They never really checked on me, and that's why I appreciate La Causa tremendously, because they were the ones that showed me we care. I met my La Causa team, all brilliant people, and people that wanted to see me succeed.
That kind of care can change a life. Learn how you can become a foster parent with La Causa at lacausa.org.
It's 1:30. I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, July 29th. Your top story, progress in power restoration across the state.
I'm Jessica Ty. Renovations to Wauwatosa's City Hall complex move forward.
Sunny, less humid today, high 80 degrees. Clear tonight, a low of 62. Partly cloudy, warm, and more humid on Thursday with a high of 86. Next chance of rain appears to be on Friday with a high of 84 degrees. It's currently 79.
ABC News, I'm Michelle Franzen. Americans working to stretch their budgets will not have to worry about higher interest rates right now. The Federal Reserve Board leaving interest rates unchanged for now. Members were not all in agreement with the war in Iran driving uncertainty. ABC's Elizabeth Schulze has details.
This was a very divided, unusually divided decision by the Fed. 3 Fed officials voted to increase interest rates. They dissented with this decision. They instead wanted to see rates go up. It is very unusual for us to see that kind of division in the Fed when you're thinking about an interest rate hike like this.
The risk of flash flooding remains in portions of the Northeast following severe storms that swept through in the past 24 hours. Areas in eastern Pennsylvania, New Jersey, and New York receiving 3 to 6 inches of rainfall in a short amount of time. Water rescues stretch from Tennessee to New Hampshire. At least 13 people have died in Japan following yesterday's powerful earthquake. Michelle Franzen, ABC News.
Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:31. We Energy says power has been restored to nearly all customers after this week's tornado and severe storms, but crews are still working on the hardest hit parts of the Fox Valley. We Energy spokesperson Brendan Conway on WTMJ says crews have restored power for more than 122,000 customers.
We look back at just since 2020, we've had more severe, what we call large outages, 100,000 or more customers than we had in the previous 40 plus years.
We Energies expect service to be restored to nearly everyone outside of the Fox Valley by this evening, with repairs continuing into Thursday in tornado-damaged areas.
Decision Wisconsin. One of the biggest takeaways from last night's Democratic gubernatorial debate on WISN wasn't what the candidates said, but what they didn't say. Wiz Politics editor J.R. Ross tells WTMJ the frontrunner, Francesca Hong, largely escaped attacks from the rest of the field.
If you're trying to beat Francesca Hong or stop her from getting the nomination, do you have time? Do you have money? And is there a path? And as long as both Barnes and Crowder are in the race, it makes it much tougher because they're split in that second place vote or that kind of non-Hong vote right now in the biggest way of the remaining contenders.
Ross's candidates trying to stop Hong now face an uphill battle with just 2 weeks until the Democratic primary.
Construction worker seriously injured after being struck by a vehicle in Washington County.
A 48-year-old woman driving westbound on State Highway 60 crossed the center line last Friday and hit a 35-year-old man in an active work zone. The man was taken to the hospital for potentially life-threatening injuries. The woman then crashed into a home near Country Air and Highway 60. No one in the house was injured. The woman was taken to the hospital as a precaution. The crash is under investigation. Jen Gregg, WTMJ News.
Wauwatosa is moving forward with the most expensive option for its new Civic Center. The $107 million library and City Hall project got nearly unanimous approval during the Common Council meeting last night. Alderman Joe Phillips.
I think we just really need to be clear about the choice here. It's not a spend versus save. We're going to spend either way. The question is whether we spend to patch a building that no longer serves this community or whether we invest in one that will.
The proposed plan involves replacing the current Civic Center with brand new buildings.
Milwaukee residents will have 2 chances this week to weigh in on the city's next budget.
Mayor Cavalier Johnson is hosting budget hearing open houses tonight from 5 to 7 at Zablocki Library and tomorrow night from 5 to 7 at Atkinson Library.
Milwaukee has a $2 billion budget, and I want you to help me decide how to spend it.
In a recent video highlighting the budget process, Johnson says nearly a quarter of that money pays for self-supporting utilities like water and sewer services, while hundreds of millions more are committed to pensions, debt, and other required expenses. The city is facing a $96 million budget gap. The mayor will present his proposed budget in September. Neil Doyle, WTMJ News.
Stay close. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited, WTMJ News Time is 1:34.
Hey, it's WTMJ Steve Scafidi here for QC Kinetics. When your joints hurt every day and you've been told you need surgery, do your homework. Remember, once the joint is replaced, there's no going back. Before you schedule surgery, consider getting a second opinion from QC Kinetics. Whether you're dealing with pain from bone-on-bone arthritis, a torn meniscus, or years of wear and tear, surgery isn't the only conversation you should have. Talk to Dr. Ashley Caravelli and her team at QC Kinetics about how they use regenerative treatments to deliver relief to patients like you here in Greenfield and Mequon. You start with a medical evaluation, reviewing your history, any imaging, and the actual source of your pain. If you're a good candidate, they'll concentrate tiny healing tools within your body right in the spot that's actually causing the pain. The whole idea is to give you a real shot at holding off on surgery, or in some cases, avoiding it altogether. And that's why it makes sense to explore every option before making a decision that could change your life. Don't just accept surgery is your only choice. Call QC Kinetics today for a second opinion and know your options. The conversation and consultation are totally free. Call QC Kinetics at 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. That's 414-667-5559. QC Kinetics.
Hey, thanks, Steve. Hey, if you want to check out Steve and all your other WTMJ hosts, you can do it. Celebrate WTMJ Day with us at a private tailgate at the Brewers game. It's coming up Saturday, August 29th. Food and drinks. Hang out with us. Plus tickets to the game. Brewers take on the Rangers that day at American Family Field. More information online. Visit WTMJday.com. That's WTMJday.com. Tickets expected to go fast. It was a great time last year. Hopeful to have a great time and great day with you on August 29th. Check it out, WTMJday.com. Sponsored by Big Fish Contracting and Woodman's with catering courtesy of Left's Lucky Town.
A cancer diagnosis shouldn't mean we can't make plans. It shouldn't mean living without joy or optimism. Cancer shouldn't be calling the shots. At the Frederick and the Medical College of Wisconsin Cancer Network, we're pushing to put cancer in its place by pulling together teams of leading specialists and researchers who work tirelessly for breakthroughs, who are developing innovative ways to treat every cancer, to treat your cancer. And by providing the largest cancer clinical trials treatment program in eastern Wisconsin. So there are more treatment options and more reasons to be hopeful. So let's keep innovating. Let's keep discovering. Let's push to make every cancer diagnosis a story of survivorship and bring back the lightness of life that cancer takes away. To learn more about breakthrough cancer care, visit frederick.com/cancer.
Visit family-owned Ken Michaels Furniture and our in-store design centers where you'll still find beautiful, luxurious, heirloom-quality American-made furniture. Right now, save 30 to 35% store-wide and take advantage of our complimentary design services. Whether you're moving, renovating, or updating, our designers will help your vision become a reality. Visit Ken Michaels Furniture in Brookfield on Capitol Drive and in Greenfield on Highway 100 to save 30 to 35% store-wide today. Sleep better and save more with mattresses from Milwaukee Mattress and Ken Michaels Furniture. Handcrafted in our Milwaukee factory, our mattresses utilize natural materials like cotton cushioning, which dissipates body heat, Joma wool quilts for warm wintry nights and cool summer evenings, and natural latex providing superior conformability and pressure relief for aching joints. Stop in today at any Ken Michaels Furniture store and save up to 50% compared to national brands.
Time for a WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports desk. The Packers begin training camp with 2 kickers on the roster, 6th-round draft pick Trey Smack and newly signed international prospect Lenny Krieg from Germany. General Manager Brian Gutekunst released Lucas Haversick on Tuesday.
As we know, with all positions, but particularly kickers, it can take some time to become a great kicker in this league. So we really like Trey, we really like what he's made of, and we'll kind of see how it goes. But we're really optimistic that he has a chance to be one of those guys.
Packers begin camp with 10 players on the physically unable to perform list, including Micah Parsons and tight end Tucker Kraft. Brewers first baseman Jake Bauers has a fractured right big toe. It's expected to avoid an injury stint. However, he is in the lineup today as the Brewers take on the Giants in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 2:10 on WTMJ.
Let's get you an update on the roads with your WTMJ Time Saver Traffic. We're looking pretty good for this Wednesday afternoon, middle of the work week now. Couple disabled vehicles out in the system. We've got this one that's been chilling there for a while. 4194 North, just a little bit beyond Wisconsin 165. The left shoulder is blocked with what looks like a white SUV that is broken down. That's down in Kenosha County. We do have our typical delays in our construction zones, including 94 eastbound and westbound around the ballpark. Other than that, we do have a new disabled vehicle that just popped up, the ramp from Wisconsin 119 to I-94 North, not too far from Milwaukee Mitchell International Airport. The right shoulder is blocked there due to that car that just broke down. And one more for you, I-94 East at the ramp from County J. Right shoulder still blocked there due to another broken down vehicle.
Well, beautiful day to be outside, and that's where we find TMJ4 meteorologist Lauren Larson checking in from where? Where are you today, Lauren?
Hi, I just wrapped up in Heartland. I was at Heartland Kids Day, and Lake Country Fun has a partnership with Andrea Albers. She's doing like a thing this summer to talk about the fun in Lake Country, and they invited the Chaser out. You guys, this was a massive event. I can't even estimate how many kids were there, but there were bouncy houses and vendors and performances from local dance teams and cheer teams. I mean, an ambulance, fire truck, and then, of course, we had the Chaser there as well.
Okay, tell us, Lauren, did you get to bounce too?
Yeah.
Did you get to jump in? That's always fun.
This was crazy. The bounce houses were small, like not your wipeout style bounce house. They were definitely geared towards smaller kids. I didn't get a chance, but I was looking in the direction I wanted to.
Were there goats? Was there a dunk tank? Anything else?
No, I did not see a dunk tank, thankfully, because I feel like somebody would have suggested that I do that.
Yeah.
And there was not a petting zoo that I had seen.
Huh.
Well, thank God. This is a great day for a bounce house because it's sunny, it's nice, and it's not too windy. Because I think weather, as we're talking to you, Lauren, I know a lot of families like to get those bounce houses for their backyard parties. It's a birthday party, a big birthday party for the kids. And have you seen those videos? Every once in a while, you've got the wind just takes a bounce house. Not good.
Yes. Yeah, that's absolutely not good. I even talked to some people who were impacted not by the storms here this week, but back in April. And one girl told me that one of the storms blew her trampoline away.
I feel like we saw pictures of that.
Yeah.
Do you remember there was like a trampoline in the trees? What was from the April storms, I think it was?
Yeah, from Sussex.
Jeez.
I'm on the
Maybe
website.
that was her trampoline.
I am on the website here. It says animal encounters. You may have just met in the wrong spot, Lauren. I don't know, perhaps, unless Nis was there.
Oh, my gosh. No.
Well, you can go back. It also says you can meet princesses and local personalities. Little did the kids know that they got a 2-for-1 when they met you.
Aw, stop it.
Greg,
Well,
he's always a schmoozer.
Drive safe back in that Chaser. But take us through the rest of the day here. Today is a home run. It could not have been a better day for Heartland Kids Day.
For sure. Beautiful blue skies, temperatures in the low 80s. Like you guys mentioned, not a ton of wind. It is a beautiful day today. Tomorrow, we're kind of starting to bring that heat and humidity back a little bit. And then our next chance for some rain showers will be Friday into Saturday. You know, it will come with some heat and humidity, so keeping an eye on the chance for severe weather. But right now, I don't have a ton of information on really the threat for severe weather. Overall, I do think the next 7 days looks to be pretty nice. We're not forecasting any days that are complete washout. We're not forecasting, any 95 degrees feels like 100 degrees. I think the weather's kind of calmed down.
Well, that's wonderful. And I know, Lauren, you're always focused on, southeastern Wisconsin, but you do take a look around the country and around the state as well. I'm curious, over the last couple of days here, obviously on Monday you were, but if you're also paying attention to what's happening up in Green Bay, because they could certainly use just some dry weather, some sunshine, and some warmth, but not too much, so everybody can just pick up the pieces and start to rebuild. I mean, there's so many people still without power. Menasha, I think about Menasha in particular. They've got Menasha Utilities. So it's their own municipal electric utility, and they say it's going to be days before those customers get their power back.
Yeah, like you said, it's great that we're seeing that sunshine and calm conditions, especially, Monday night after the storm moved through. Tuesday and today is nice, so they're not having to fight through the debris in the rain. It is nice to see that. I also, though, when you talk about weather across the Midwest, I know there's been a major heat dome over the past couple of days, record-breaking temperatures in Minnesota, the Dakotas, seeing triple-digit highs for the first time in a few years. So we're still keeping an eye on that, but thankfully that heat is not headed to southeast Wisconsin.
All right, good stuff, Lauren. We appreciate it. Hope you enjoyed Heartland Kids Fest, and we'll check in again soon.
Thanks, Lauren.
Yeah, absolutely. Enjoy the sunshine here this afternoon.
Yeah, you bet. So live performances on the main stage, bounce houses. You can meet princesses and local personalities, animal encounters, a rock wall, business booths, food trucks and treats, a splash pad and playground. It's all at Nixon Park out in Heartland. I've been out there. It's a very nice park.
Sounds very fun.
1:45 here on WTMJ. Reminder, we've got Brewers baseball coming up at 2:10 this afternoon. Brewers wrap up the series with the Giants. The road trip continues, however, with a 3-game weekend series against the Angels in Anaheim. That picks up on Friday night.
At Big Fish Contracting, we want every home project to be a good story worth sharing. That's why we as a team aim to exceed your expectations. We can improve any aspect of your home. Everything from a complex remodel to the essential roof, gutters, siding, and windows. Integrity, humility, and kindness are why we've grown in southeastern Wisconsin for the last 2 decades. Visit bigfishcontracting.com to learn how Big Fish is renovating homes and redeeming an industry.
Wisconsin's hometown pizza is Palermo's, and beginning today, they got a big deal going on at Piggly Wiggly. Shop the pig through the 4th of August for $5.99 Screamin' Sicilian thin and crispy pizzas. That might be my favorite of the Screamin' Sicilian. They got a big old variety at Screamin' Sicilian. Also, they've got urban pie, Connie's, Primo Thin, a variety of pizzas, a slice for every appetite, they like to say. And I agree, all delicious. Screamin' Sicilian is my favorite, however. The thin and crispy is outstanding, overflowing with toppings. They keep that tavern-style crust. It's fantastic. And it's now just $5.99 at Piggly Wiggly through the 4th of August. Stock up and save with more premium toppings, more cheese, more flavor. More is amore with Screamin' Sicilian. Made by Palermo's, Wisconsin's hometown pizza.
Accident Mortgage is an equal housing lender. NMLS ID 255368. This is Brian Wicker, Chief Homebuyer Helper with Wisconsin's own Accident Mortgage. Nicer homes are still getting multiple offers over asking, and there's only one winner per listing. I want to help you be that winner, which is why I just increased the rock-solid pre-approval guarantee to $10,000. It's all about getting the seller to pick your offer over the others. So AccuNet is now guaranteeing in writing to pay the seller 10,000 American bucks if we can't make good on the terms of your fully verified rock-solid pre-approval. Banks don't do that. We're willing to stand behind our work and stand behind you with a $10,000 guarantee that sellers will definitely notice. Maybe you've been writing offers and losing, which feels terrible, or maybe you're just starting out. Either way, don't settle for a flimsy bank pre-approval and let someone else end up sleeping in your dream home. Give the seller 10,000 reasons to say yes to your offer with AccuNet's new $10,000 rock-solid seller guarantee. Get started with yours today at accunet.com.
Sponsored by Progressive Insurance. Protect your family, your phone, and your furry friends with life, electronic device, and pet health insurance.
Hey, John Mercure here for Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living. Their mission is to transform the culture of care. They specialize in caring for those with early to late stage Alzheimer's or other related dementia symptoms, and they offer early memory loss classes to help you. They specialize in this area. It's kindness at the core, locations throughout Southeast Wisconsin. It's compassion, it's empathy. It's Wisconsin-based and family-owned, always welcoming people to come tour and welcome their new residents. I've seen their places. They're top-notch. It's Azura Memory Care and Assisted Living.
We were talking about the Democratic gubernatorial debate last night on WISN 12. We had political director Matt Smith on. And one of the questions I was asking, because there are so many on the Democratic side who are still undecided. I mean, this new MU Law poll came out, and while there aren't as many as there were since the last poll, there's still some 30+% who are undecided on the Democratic side. So my big question is, if you are a Democrat and you watch that debate last night, do you now know who you're voting for? And we had one of our fans who wrote in and said, I watched the entire debate last night. I thought the two moderators did an excellent job. It was Matt Smith and Jaron Jordan. And this fan writes, I definitely learned more about each candidate. So I was curious. So I said, do you know who you're voting for? If so, did you know before the debate, or did you decide after watching? The fan wrote back saying, I now know who I'm not voting for.
Yeah, interesting.
Which I thought was fascinating, which is also helpful. I mean, so the debate certainly helped in that, but not sure yet who the fan is voting for. But fan says, I now know who I'm voting for. It's down to 3 for me. I hope 2 of those 3 can be a governor and lieutenant governor combo.
It'd be interesting to check in with Charles Franklin. He kind of runs and organizes the MU Law School polls. And, they had the one released about a week ago, and it felt a little flawed in that David Crowley was not included on that, and Sarah Rodriguez was. But the number that jumped out was that 45% undecided. So that was the number I was wondering if it would change in the most recent poll. And it did. It's down to 34%, but that's still a pretty significant amount. But that poll period was conducted before last night's debate. So it changed the mind of the person who texted in, which is representative, I think, of the greater community. How many? Who knows? But if there is another poll to come out prior to the August 11th primary, I'd be curious to see how those numbers shift. But right now, it's really Francesca Hong that's leading the way. Mandela Barnes has roughly half of her percentage, and then everybody else is under 10% of the vote right now. But again, that was before the debate, so those numbers could shift.
And I don't know that the debate changed this fan's mind, but what it did do is it solidified something. It solidified enough so that this fan now knows who he or she is not voting for.
Sure.
And I'm sure this person's not alone.
It was an hour, and I'd thought going in, wow, that's going to go fast. That is going to be a race to the finish line, because I thought they'd be kind of stepping on each other, really kind of going after each other a little bit to separate themselves from the other candidates. That didn't really happen. In fact, at one point I looked at my watch and I was like, wow, there's still 15 minutes left in this thing. It was a little slower paced than I thought it was going to be.
And then you just have the simple fact that it's summer and you have a lot of people who aren't paying attention, who aren't watching. Thanks to social media, though, you can see a bunch of clips online right now.
It's 1:51 here on WTMJ. Reminder, Brewers baseball coming up at about 2:10 this afternoon from San Francisco.
Just doing some roofing on another lovely Wisconsin day. No gimmicks, no shortcuts, it's just roofing done the old-fashioned way. Do you need shingles? Let's mingle, for a Wisconsin tradition never dwindles. So raise a glass, shake a hand for this old-fashioned brand. Whoop, that's old-fashioned roofing.
Many people feeling close to retirement ask themselves, do I have enough?
Am I missing something?
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, we provide clarity during our complimentary, no-pressure consultation. We're independent advisors using big firm tools with a boutique-style approach.
And no crickets. We stay in touch so you're never left wondering.
At Diversified Wealth Strategies, let us show you how to capture the upside, limit the downside, and feel good inside.
Visit dwstrategies.com.
Securities and investment services offered through Mosaic Wealth Inc. Member FINRA SIPC. Mosaic Wealth is separately owned, and other entities and/or marketing names, products, or services referenced here are independent of Mosaic Wealth.
Healthy joints, healthy lifestyle. Vince Vetrano for Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin. Arthritis, injuries, wear and tear, common joint issues that keep you from doing what you love. At OAW, a visit to the doctor doesn't always mean surgery. Everyone is different. Surgeons, nurses, physical therapists work together to come up with a plan for you. Maybe it's PT, medication, injection, and if you do need surgery, like I did, you know you're in the best of hands. Orthopedic Associates of Wisconsin, there is a difference. Book an appointment online at orthowisconsin.com.
Hey, it's Kristen Bry from Point Taken on 620 WTMJ. You know, in radio, people hear your voice first. But when I'm out in the community, meeting listeners or hosting events, I'm told that my smile is my signature. That's why I trust Dr. James Michaels and the team at Economawalk Dental Care with my smile. And yes, I drive all the way from Milwaukee to Economawalk to see Dr. Michaels and his incredible staff. Because when you find a dental team that makes you feel comfortable, listened to, and cared for, that drive is worth it. Dr. Michaels has been practicing in Economawalk for more than 25 years, and his approach is simple. Treat people the way they want to be treated. Whether you're due for a cleaning, thinking about cosmetic options, or just need a dental home where you feel at ease, call Economawalk Dental Care at 262-567-7224. That's 262-567-7224, or visit drmichaelsdentalcare.com. Economawalk Dental Care with Dr. James Michaels, the team I trust with my smile.
WTMJ, W277CV, and WKTI HD2 Milwaukee from the Annex Wealth Management Studios. This is News Radio WTMJ, a Good Karma brand station.
Now, the heat dome and wildfires, not just a thing in North America, not just a thing in Wisconsin, a thing in the UK right now. Growing concerns about hot temperatures today as Britain experienced its third different heat wave of the summer. They also have wildfire issues, forcing unprecedented evacuations, tens of thousands of people across Europe, France and Spain. In London, they've got issues.
I'm worried about the water. I'm worried about drought. Not about wildfires, though, here. At the moment.
Yeah, similar issues in Europe where it's not nearly as air-conditioned as it is in the United States. So when the heat dome hits out there, it hits a little different. Not as many places to hide, but you don't think of heat being a major issue in some of these European countries. And then wildfires. So they're having the same issues over there as we're having right here.
Brutal. When we were over in Italy, it was very, very hot. And this is the time of the year you have so many families who are taking vacations. They're trying to go out and enjoy. And sometimes the weather, it's just, and you can go and look online and say, is this the best time of the year to go? And it might say no, because it's so busy and it's very hot in a number of spots. But sometimes it's the only time the families can go. I remember when we went to Greece, I think it was back in 2021. It was so hot too. And we were going to walk up to the Acropolis, which is awesome. And it's one of those bucket list things to do. It was so hot. You really had to do it in the earlier hours of the day, just before Mother Nature really heated things up. And there was a point when they actually closed it down. They said people can't go because they just wanted to make sure people were safe. And it was just too hot for people to walk up all that way.
Well, and you just got back from Italy, and I didn't ask about the weather while you were there, but you were in an area that was near water. Pretty much everything in Italy is near water, or it's near wine country, one or the other. Did it feel like you were on the back end of something that was oppressive, or did it feel comfortable when you were there?
No, it was definitely hot. I mean, we bopped around from spot to spot. Initially, we were out on an island, Ischia, for those of you who have been over there. So that, I think, just we had a little bit of a breeze, and being by the water, it helped. But yeah, I mean, if you were, I'm trying to think, we were in Sorrento and a couple of other places as well, but especially Naples. I mean, the night before flying out, you're there in the city and we're walking around just trying to take in all the culture. You're on the cobblestone streets and that was hot. That's when I told you about that lemon and a lemon.
Yeah, refreshing drink.
Okay,
that sounds good.
Can we have anything to cool you down? It was like they would take a lemon and then they really made a lemon slushy. It wasn't really a drink. It was more of a dessert, really just a refreshing kind of healthier dessert. But anything to cool you down. Lots of water and light clothes. That's what you need.
Yeah, that's been a thing really in Europe for the last month or so. Coming up on 157 here on WTMJ. Reminder, we've got Brewers baseball coming up in about 15 minutes. We'll get you some 2 o'clock headlines leading you into Brewers baseball. Tommy Pannone is being called up from Nashville to make the start today. Shane Drowan was the scheduled starter. They're bumping his start to the series against Anaheim. And the Brewers enter the day with the second best record in all of baseball. About 15 minutes away from Brewers baseball here on WTMJ.
I'm John Mercure, excited to be joined by Dr. Robbie Amiot with Orthopedic Hospital of Wisconsin. Dr. Amiot, so good to see you. Thank you so much for being here.
Thanks for having me.
I love the work you do at OHAO. It's impressive facilities. It's the best doctors, the best imaging, and you are a specialist in foot and ankle situations. What does a foot and ankle surgeon evaluate and treat in general?
We see a variety of foot and ankle problems. Common ones that I see are ankle sprains, plantar fasciitis, that constant heel pain those first few steps in the morning. I see painful bunions, tendinitis, tendon ruptures, particularly people like yourself who play pickleball can get these tendinitis problems. Other injuries and painful deformities, everything foot and ankle we see.
I'm excited to talk to you about advances that have occurred in the past 10 years. Take us inside that.
We have had major advances in all foot and ankle procedures. These are things we typically can fix conservatively in the office. If they do not get better, we can choose a procedure in the orthopedic hospital endoscopically to fix that problem through just a tiny incision. Over the past 10 years, we have taken those large incisions and those painful procedures down to a tiny 1 centimeter or less incision. We get great correction of these deformities. Patients have minimal to very small amount of pain, faster healing, much better cosmetic result, and patient satisfaction has been amazing.
Same-day appointments are available. That doesn't happen everywhere. Why is that so important?
If you call the orthopedic hospital, you're seen today by the specialist you need and that you deserve.
It's cutting-edge technology. It's compassion at the core. It's the best physicians, physical therapists, and imaging in the business. Start your journey to feeling better at OHOW.com, OHOW.com. Dr. Robbie Amiot, thank you so much for spending some time with us.
Thanks for having me.
The place you want to go, Lynch McWanago.
Nobody sells for less than Lynch.
The road leads west. Next stop, San Francisco.
The 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. He struck him out. He strikes out the side in the fourth. Strikeout number 11 for Jacob Mizorowski. Stand and applaud.
The Brewers take on the Giants today at Oracle Park. Our Brewers Radio Network game day coverage starts at 2:10 on the home of the Brewers. 620 WTMJ, Milwaukee.
Coming up on 2 o'clock, I'm Greg Matzik. This is Wisconsin's Midday News for Wednesday, July 29th. Your top story, Restoring Act 10's collective bargaining ban.
I'm Jessica Ty. Support grows for one Democratic gubernatorial candidate.
Sunny today, high 80 degrees. Clear tonight, low 64. Partly cloudy, warm, and humid on Thursday with a high of 86. It's 80 and sunny in Milwaukee at 2 o'clock. From the WTMJ Breaking Newsroom, Wisconsin's Act 10 law will remain in effect after a new ruling from the State Court of Appeals.
The court overturned a Dane County judge's decision that struck down the 2011 law, which limits collective bargaining rights for most public employees and requires many to contribute more toward their health insurance and retirement benefit. The law, championed by former Governor Scott Walker, sparked weeks of protests at the state capitol when it was passed. The lawsuit argues the law unfairly exempts firefighters and some other public safety workers. Unions are expected to appeal the decision to the Wisconsin Supreme Court. Nazir Spencer, WTMJ News.
Decision Wisconsin. According to the latest Marquette University Law School poll just out today, State Representative Francesca Hong expands her lead in the Democratic primary for governor.
Hong's advantage over former Lieutenant Governor Mandela Barnes grew by double figures compared to a poll conducted last week. 34% of those polled remain undecided, but poll director Charles Franklin says while that figure is still significant,
I think the expansion of Hong's lead is a notable change over where we were a week ago.
Outside of Hong and Barnes, no other candidate polled above 10%, with less than 2 weeks to go before the August 11th primary. Adam Roberts, WTMJ News.
State Representative Francesca Hong facing tough questions during last night's debate hosted by WISN. Asked about her past comments on defunding the police and whether she'd support cutting police funding if elected governor.
The governor cannot defund police, and I'm not here to govern by slogan. I'm here to make sure that I am the governor that is most serious about public safety. And that means investing in the things that we know prevent crime and getting resources to victims and ensuring that the people who are incarcerated and the folks who are working in our prisons are able to live a life of dignity and work with dignity.
Hong is one of 5 Democratic candidates who will appear on the partisan primary ballot August 11th. The winner will face likely Republican candidate Congressman Tom Tiffany in the November general election.
Students at Lincoln Avenue School in Milwaukee's southwest side will start their year at Pulaski High School after a fire destroyed their building. One of the teachers, Angeli Marie Soto, tells WTMJ she's not worried about the transition.
What's great about this move is that because we are moving as a staff, the kids are familiar with us. You know, it's not that they're going to be split up and going to one building and then the other half is going to a different building. We're together. So it makes it a lot easier to assure the kids, like, hey, everything is going to be the same. It's just a different building.
Soto says families are handling the transition well because the students will still be in the same community. School starts September 1st.
The Department of Justice sought the help of notorious mobster to strengthen their criminal case against former FBI Director James Comey. He is accused of threatening to kill President Trump by posting a photo of seashells arranged as the numbers 8647 in an Instagram post.
Defense lawyers say prosecutors interviewed Sammy the Bull Gravano to ask if he believed Comey's experience prosecuting the Gambino crime family would have led him to believe the term 86 was a reference to murder. Gravano cooperated with the Department of Justice in the 90s and admitted to his involvement in 19 murders. But he told prosecutors that Comey's post wasn't a personal threat to Trump. Comey's lawyers revealed the details as part of their push to have the case thrown out ahead of trial. Peter Harolambus, ABC News.
Dr. Anthony Fauci invoked his Fifth Amendment right more than 100 times today during his appearance before a Senate committee over the origins of COVID-19. Senator Richard Blumenthal says he found the hearing to be a waste of resources.
This attempt to rebrand one of the most challenging times in our nation's history is a short-sighted act of desperation that will leave us less prepared for the next pandemic.
Over the weekend, Fauci's so-called diary, which he kept while he was a top health official during the pandemic, was released by the committee's chair, Senator Rand Paul.
Time for news about your money. The WTMJ Annex Wealth Management Market Update. The Dow is trying to fight back here. It's still down about 600 points. That is an improvement, however. At 52,161, the NASDAQ has bounced all the way back, now 120 points in the green at 25,000. And the S&P 500 is up about 10 at 7436. Annex Comprehensive Wealth, Annex Private Client, Annex Ignite. It's financial planning at every level. For details, visit annexwealth.com.
The pack is back. Sports, traffic, and weather are next. Outdoor Living Unlimited WTMJ News Time is 2:04.
We'll make your ads potent, memorable, and effective. Whether it's radio, TV, billboards, or digital, our understanding of the market and long-standing relationships are unmatched. Anderson Smith represents a substantial amount of advertising billing, which will benefit you in getting much more for your ad dollar. Our compensation model is designed to make it affordable for businesses like yours to use us. And we hold on to our clients because what we do works, and they trust us. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results. Too many times was I told, just go out there and sell something. Too many times did an advertiser buy just one package only to be disappointed. I'll give it a try, they said. You know, I was just doing my job until I realized that job set a lot of people up for advertising failure. So we started Anderson Smith, and since then, we've retained many clients for over a decade and have been a valuable asset to their business because we're helping them rather than just selling them. Anderson-Smith.com. We help small business advertisers get better results.
The stories you're talking about on Wisconsin's Morning News.
We, say collectively, would be well served by keeping open minds. If you still have to be open to the possibility that one or more of the officers involved in this did not act properly. We don't know what we don't know in this case right now, and you have to be open to the possibility that authorities determine the officer who fired had reason to fear for his life and lawfully fired on this armed suspect, Corey Ruiz.
Only here on WTMJ. Catch up with the Wisconsin's Morning News podcast on WTMJ.com.
Time for WTMJ Sports Update from the Gruber Law Office's One Call That's All Sports Desk. Brewers go for a series win this afternoon against the Giants in San Francisco. Coverage gets underway at 2:10 on WTMJ. The road trip wraps up with 3 games against the Angels before the August 3rd trade deadline. Brewers.com writer Adam McCalvey thinks the Brewers will do some buying.
I mean, history says they'll do something. I don't know whether it's big fish or several smaller fishes, but Matt Arnold has always done something to help this club when they are, in contention like they are.
Packers running back Josh Jacobs enters training camp with an open and unresolved domestic abuse investigation that the Brown County District Attorney's Office continues to lead. General Manager Brian Gutekunst is letting that legal process play out.
Yeah, really nothing's changed. I mean, those things are obviously legal matters that are out of our hands, and so, but he'll be out there, and we look forward to him being out there. He's obviously such a big, important part of our football team. And he's healthy, and I think he looks really good.
Camp continues on Thursday with a 10:30 practice at Ray Nitschke Field.
Checking out the roads with your WTMJ time saver traffic. Good thing the Brewers game is not at home today. It's down in San Francisco because we have an issue right around American Family Field. There is a broken down vehicle, a car that just broke down on the ramp from Brewers Boulevard North to 94 West. The left lane is blocked due to that car that's broken down, and it is just creating extra congestion. We do have delays as well because of the construction, both eastbound and westbound on 94, right there around the ballpark. The other issue that we have right now is a new crash. I-94 East at Highway 100. A right shoulder is blocked because of a crash, and there is a little bit of a delay because of that one.
Sunny day today, high of 80 degrees, partly cloudy, warm, and humid on Thursday with a high of 86. Showers in the forecast on Friday. Scattered showers are likely. Cloudy at a high of 80 degrees. Some showers possible on Saturday morning, then mostly cloudy, high of 75. Sun returns on Sunday and a high of 75 degrees. It's 80 right now in Milwaukee at 2:08. And just like that, it is time for Brewers baseball here on WTMJ. It's the final game of a 3-game series against the Giants. So Brewers going for a series win this afternoon, a day off tomorrow, and then it's off to Anaheim for a 3-game weekend series against the Angels. Brewers baseball next on WTMJ.
Summer and baseball go hand in hand, and as a proud partner of the Milwaukee Brewers, Carbless is helping fans swing into full flavor all season long. Whether you're at the ballpark, tailgating with friends, or catching the game from home, Carbless delivers bold flavor in a convenient canned cocktail that's ready wherever summer takes you. 0 carbs, 0 sugar,